to another episode of Ace Attorney. I hope you're liking the new starting soon screen. Um, we are on episode 2, the magical turnabout of Spirit of Justice. So, if you missed last stream, I have it up on my YouTube, but if you want a little quick synopsis, Trucy got put under arrest for stabbing another performer to death. It was her big show at Grammary Land. And yeah, we've been hearing some things from Bonnie and the producer talking. They both are extremely suspicious. And so, yeah, today we're pretty much working on proving Trucy innocent. So, let's start. I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. Is Apollo okay? He's been muttering to himself all morning. Oh, right. Also, Phoenix Wright is in another country right now, so he's not here to help Trucy out. Even if he got on a plane back, there wouldn't be enough time. So he's pretty much like, Apollo, you got this. You know what you're doing. I've seen you grow so much. You can prove Trucy innocent. He's been like that since yesterday. Guess the pressure of today's trial is getting to him. Poor Polly. He's really tearing himself up over all of this. Get it together, Apollo. Yikes, Athena. When did you get here? Try and relax a bit, will you? You're getting yourself way too worked up. Yeah, but I'm alright. I'm fine. You know, I did a little digging on this Nayuta Sandamadi guy. He apparently not your run-of-the-mill prosecutor. Oh yeah? What did you find out? Well, they say he wields an incredible power to accurately read a trial's karma and its ultimate fate. What is that supposed to mean? I don't have all the details, but apparently he can foresee how the arguments will go and even lead his opposition. So the defense basically ends up going in whatever direction he has in his head. Man, this isn't going to be a cakewalk if that's true. Emma did say she'd talk to him for us, though. Here's hoping that went well. In any case, it sounds like he's going to keep us on our toes. That's why I know you're ready, why I know I can leave Trucy in the office to you. I believe in you, Apollo. Mr. Wright is putting his faith in me. I can't let him down now. I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. There he goes again. It's almost like he's chanting a prayer. I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm Apollo Justice and I'm fine. If you say so, Apollo. The trial will start momentarily. Is the defense ready? Yes, we're fine. Trucy's fate and the fate of the agency rest on this trial. This is it, Justice. If ever there was a time to shine, it's now. Hopefully we can do it. Hopefully you can put this, or not put this off, pull this off. I'm sure he wants to put it off too, but yeah. Alright, day one, all rise. Court is now in session for the trial of Trucy Wright. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution? Prosecutor Sadamahi? 1,000 pardons. It was rude of me to keep you waiting. I was praying for the victim. Oh, praying. Yes, I see. You're a Kuranist monk, correct, prosecutor? Yes, that is correct. I am but a lowly monk from the kingdom of Kurain. I beg in advance for the forgiveness and kind patience of everyone here in this court. I am familiar with the proceedings of this country and may make many blunders. He seems like such a gentle-mannered soul, doesn't he? I wonder if Emma had a chance to talk with him about Trucy. Now then, Prosecutor Sahamandi, your opening statement, if you would. Certainly. In the name of the Holy Mother, I vow to guide the victim's soul to a land of eternal peace, known as the Twilight Realm. Now, let the last rites of the victim begin. Nayadi Sadamahdi. He really has been making a name for himself, apparently, but that nickname, Last Rites Prosecutor, I wonder how that will come into play today. The incident took place in the middle of a spectacular magic show. The accused performed a magic trick in which she thrust a sword into a coffin. A coffin from which the body of the victim then spilled out, dead from a fatal stabbing. The victim's name was Manov Mystery, otherwise known as the Great Mr. Riaz. His blood was found on the sword that was used during the magic trick. Okay, autopsy report. So his death was just an unfortunate accident. It is only natural for one to assume such, Your Honor. However, it was no mere accident, but rather a homicide. The prosecution's position is thus, that this was murder, made to look like an accident. I see, and you believe this crime was committed by the defendant. After a thorough consideration of all possible scenarios, I unfortunately had no other choice but to conclude as much. So that's how it's gonna be, huh? I guess Emma couldn't convince him after all. Very well, and now, let us hear from the defense. Naturally, we maintain that the defendant is innocent, Your Honor. If the defense wouldn't mind, could you please explain your reasoning? My reasoning? Well, I would have to say that my main reason is because I believe in the defendant. I see. So you find it difficult to come up with anything more concrete than that, do you? What a fine demonstration of the fact that you are indeed a lawyer of putrid mind. Putrid mind? Prosecutor Sadamati. Excuse me. What the hell is that? Sounded like he was in some sort of battle anime just now. If you don't mind me asking, Prosecutor, what was that you were just chanting? A sutra of the Holy Mother that guides those of tainted soul toward enlightenment. It is a Kuranist incantation to awaken the foolish from their fruitful slumber. Fitting for a lawyer who indulges in such fancy as the innocence of the accused. I see. So basically you're asking the defense to get real? Allow me these few words, defense. It is my duty as a monk to punish sinners and guide victims' souls to the Twilight Realm. Should you show repentance, I admit to the accused's guilt now. No harm will come to you. But should you interfere with my sacred last rites for the victim, then I shall cast you down into the pit of hell along with Trucy Wright. Now, wait just 1 minute here. Putrid pit of hell? Is that any way to address someone in the court of law? Prosecutor Sadamati, that may be the way you conduct trials in Crane. But I would appreciate it if you would refrain from such charged language here. Your Honor, that was but a courteous sermon for those who have strayed from the path. Harsh words are often necessary to admonish contemptible deviants who cannot see reason. Oh, I see. I didn't realize. I guess they really do hate defense attorneys in Crane, huh? Even still, that was way over the top as far as verbal abuse goes. And the trial's only just begun. Well, defense, I suppose the way a prosecutor does things varies by country. Why don't we look at this as a cross-cultural exchange and try to be open-minded about it? What? Bailiff, please bring the first witness. Uh-oh. I thought she'd said goodbye to the Snackos. This doesn't look good. Detective Sky, the courtroom is no place for gorging yourself. What's wrong with having a little snack? Girls gotta eat, right? She, seems a little stressed out. Detective Sky, your testimony, please. Yeah, about that. I just want to state for the record that believe Trucy Wright is innocent. I'm sorry? Detective Sky, this path you seek to follow is misguided. Giving the wrongdoer false hope will only deepen her despair in the end. But let it go and move on. Acts which go against your duty will earn you divine punishment from the Holy Mother. Oh, there goes her stress snacking again. Fine. I don't know about the divine part, but I get the punishment bit loud and clear. I guess Emma got assigned tons of paperwork or something for sticking up for Trucy. She and Prosecutor Sadamahi don't seem to get along very well, do they? Shall we continue? The prosecution contends that the accused had a clear motive. The evidence, if you would, Detective Sky. Alright, please take a look at this poster. It's a Troop Grammary poster from 13 years ago. Is it just me, or is it a little different from the one in Mr. Wright's dressing room? This is a revised version of that poster. This one says cancelled under Mr. Riaz. That's right, Mr. Riaz left the troop after the first version of the poster was printed. Take a look at Mr. Riaz' right forearm here, near his elbow. See the big scar there? He apparently got that when he made a mistake while practicing a magic trick. Ouch, that's quite a scar. Because of the accident, Magnifi Grammary concluded Mr. Riaz was too unskilled. Just before the show was to open, Magnifi announced Mr. Riaz won't be appearing. But in defiance of Magnifi's decision, Mr. Riaz tried to go on stage anyway. This, in turn, caused Magnifi to oust Mr. Riaz from the troupe on the spot. He kicked Mr. Riaz out? That seems rather extreme. Did he really have to go that far? When it came to magic, Troupe Gramarye was so passionate, or should I say extreme, about it, that it caused problems for them from time to time. Yes. They even caused this court to mountain of trouble with their extreme antics. And now the troupe's successor has committed a murder. It seems the troupe's rare talent has inherited by the right person after all. A putrid talent for criminality. You sound rather extreme yourself, prosecutor. Criminals with impure souls do not deserve sympathy, Your Honor. Ahem. As I was saying, after his expulsion, Mr. Rias apparently went on to hold a grudge against the troupe. He would tell those close to him, I will get my revenge on Troupe Gramarye someday. Revenge, That certainly sounds antagonistic. Alright. And then, his chance for revenge finally came. If you would be so kind, Detective Sky. I guess I don't have a choice, do I? The victim planned to get his revenge on Troupe Gramarye during Trucy's magic show. Mr. Riaz was going to first steal the Gramarye notebook from the defendant. Then he intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge. And while he did, in fact, steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had a chance to reveal the secrets. By the time the accused had discovered the notebook's theft, it was too late. Her only option was to kill Mr. Riaz and make it look like an accident.
Objection!
That's nothing but conjecture.
Objection!
The victim's assistant, Bonnie DeFame, gave the police statement. She testified that just before the start of the show, Mr. Riaz said, I'm going to reveal all of Troupe Gramarye's secrets on stage today. What? Well, that isn't exactly a great starting point for a rebuttal, is it? You're telling me. Allow me to give you one piece of advice, defense. Oh, and what's that? Let it go and move on. Excuse me? Helping a sinner will only sully your own soul. One possesses an unclean soul will burn in the flames of hell, and then be ever burdened by that sin in their next life. But I don't believe in that sort of thing. Besides, I have no intention of giving up. Oh, Holy Mother, grant me strength to deal with this putrid lawyer. All actions have consequences, and yours will surely earn you the honor of being a mere stink bug at best in your next life. A stink bug? Now then, Mr. Justice, your cross-examination, please. Alright. The victim planned to get his revenge on Troupe Gramarye during Trucy Wright's magic show. Mr. Rios was going to first steal the Grammary notebook from the defendant. He then intended to reveal the secrets behind their magic tricks during the show. That was the victim's plan for revenge, and while he did in fact steal the notebook, the defendant murdered him before he had the chance to reveal his secrets.
Hold it!
I'm sorry, but what exactly was the basis for claiming it was murder? Beats me. What? The basis is beats me? You'll have to ask Prosecutor Sadamahi over there, because he hasn't told me his reasoning either. Detective Sky, your feeding of information to defense has not gone unnoticed by my eyes. But bad karma of acts which go against your duty will impinge upon you in your next life. But even before that, I may impinge upon your job in the form of a transfer. Ack! But please don't get me kicked out of the forensics unit, anything but that. Poor Emma, she really been risking everything for us. Well, Prosecutor Sadamahi, what are your grounds for claiming homicide? It was the luminous tape in the understage passage. I realized that it had been moved. Moved so that Mr. Riaz would climb up into the downstage coffin by mistake. What? Mr. Riaz, who was waiting in the understage passage, was supposed to have used the upstage ladder shown here on the left. He was to climb into the coffin that had been set up in the backstage area. After that, turned into a stuffed dragon during Act 1. Mr. Rios was supposed to come back to life and emerge from that coffin. But the luminous tape had been moved to mark the downstage ladder. So the victim climbed up into the coffin on the stage itself by mistake. The very same coffin the accused thrust her sword into. And you have proof that it was my client who moved the tape? But of course. Detective Sky? Oh, that's right. I identified the defendant's fingerprints on the luminous tape. You what? He actually had proof? Well, defense, are you finally ready to let it all go and move on? Absolutely not. Detective, please add the information about the prints on the tape to your testimony. The defendant's prints were on the tape. I guess she must have moved it during the show. Wanna look at prints for a second. Prints on the coffin lid, Bonnie to Fame. Prints on the side panels, Mr. Riaz. Prints on the top panel, unknown. Trucy wore... Oh yeah, she wore gloves. Those couldn't have been her prints. I'm sorry, Detective Sky, but there's a flaw in your testimony. Oh, really? The prosecution is claiming that Mr. Wright moved the Miss Wright. I'm so used to saying Mr. Wright. Miss Wright moved the understage tape during the show in order to guide the victim into the coffin downstage. But it doesn't make sense that she would leave prints on the tape at that time. It doesn't? Please consider the fingerprinting results of the main coffin, which shows that not one of my client's fingerprints was found on or in it. That's true. We didn't find any of her prints on that coffin. I think you've realized what the flaw in your testimony is. Claiming Miss Wright left prints on the tape during the show is inconsistent with the facts. Because she was wearing gloves during the show. Oh! She must have left the print sometime before the show started. In other words, her prints do not prove she moved the tape to mislead the victim. The prosecution's investigation was insufficient. Oh my! But on a personal level, I'm very happy about that. Well, Prosecutor Sadhamati, if the defense's argument is true, then you have no evidence the defendant moved the tape to deceive the victim. I see. Apparently the defense is more intelligent than I had thought. More than a stink bug, at any rate. Come on, you can bump me up to at least a stag beetle now, can't you? Would that really be any better? Of course, way better. Stag beetles are cool with those huge mandibles of theirs. If the defense wishes to be promoted to a stag beetle, then answer me this question. Alright, shoot. Even with no evidence that the accused moved the tape to misguide the victim, the victim still climbed the ladder using the tape as a guide, and entered the coffin on the stage. The accused then thrust her sword into said coffin with the victim in it. So what you're saying is, the fact remains that the victim was stabbed to death, right? Precisely. However, this does drastically change one aspect of this case. If the accused did not lead the victim into the coffin on purpose, then it means the victim's death could have been accidental. If it was indeed an accident, the defense can argue that it was involuntary manslaughter. I see. If it was involuntary manslaughter, they could plead extenuating circumstances, and the severity of the crime would be mitigated. Defense, if you believe the accused did not murder the victim, then do you argue that it was an accident? This is it, the all-important question. Defense argues that Mr. Ries's death was... I think it was murder, but not by our victim. Or not by the accused, I should say. The defense maintains that the defendant is entirely innocent. We believe that it wasn't an accident, but murder. And what's more, we believe it was committed by a third party. A third party? As in the true culprit was someone else? That is quite a brazen claim to make, though wholly without grounds. Your voice is as loud as your suit, and your mind echoes just as loudly in emptiness. Surely you were but a loud red pepper in your previous life. I've been demoted to a vegetable? Wow, I didn't know a person could be reincarnated as a non-sentient plant. In any case, I do have grounds to make this claim. Let us hear your reasoning of yours then. Alright, but before I give it, there's one question that I need to address. If the victim was killed by some third party, then the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin wasn't the cause of death. If that's the case, then how did we wind up with a dead body inside the coffin? A very good question. Now let's hear your opinion, Mr. Justice. How did the victim's body wind up inside the coffin? He was killed in the coffin, it was magic, he was killed under stage. He was killed under stage. What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? In other words, what if the victim was already dead in the coffin from the get-go? Oh, I see. In that case, the defendant's sword wouldn't have been the cause of death. How do you respond, Prosecutor Satamadi? That is the third time. The third time of what? Hiya. What the heck is this? Ah, ow, my head. What do you think you're doing? Even the merciful Holy Mother loses patience if she is struck 3 times. Since you never learn, you needed to be punished. Why don't you let me worry about what I need and don't need? It is what you deserve for interfering with my sacred last rites for the victim. You are a brainless lawyer chasing phantoms. You know nothing. Let this humble servant of the Holy Mother give you an identifying sermon. A sermon now. This is a passage in the sacred scriptures of Kurinism. A cornered frog will swallow even a snake. Huh? A cornered lawyer has unexpectedly struck back hard against the prosecution. Did I get that right? No, for I am not done with my sermon. And yet, the frog still dies, its belly bitten and torn from within. Just great. And in this case, you are that frog, defense. What exactly is your point anyway? Let us assume for a moment that the victim was killed under the stage. Who then had the opportunity to do so during the show? Let's see, the people in the show were Bonnie DeFame, the victim Mysterious, and Trucy Wright. Bonnie DeFame was on stage throughout the entire show, as easily confirmed by the footage from the show. Which leaves us with only one suspect, Trucy Wright. Ack! Now, do you see? The accused killed Mr. Reyes as he waited on standby in the understage passage, and then placed his dead body in the coffin above, thus making the murder look like an accident. No! O great and merciful Holy Mother! Thus another putrid mind has been guided towards enlightenment. I can't believe I swallowed his trick question whole.
Objection!
Sorry, but I have to raise an objection here. Athena, what are you? There's something I want to point out, Apollo. And who might you be? You strike me as a mere child in countenance. I may be young, but I have an attorney's badge just the same. And you would contribute to this discussion in that capacity? I most certainly would. You just argued that the defendant killed the victim under the stage. But let me remind you that Miss Wright is a girl. Clearly. Surely you didn't raise an objection simply to point out such an obvious fact. Your Honor, please send for this little girl's guardian, or this little child's guardian, to come take her home. But I'm not done with my sermon. You don't need to talk like Prosecutor Satamati, you know? Listen, if the victim was killed in the understage passage, then his body would then have to be hauled up to the stage, right? However, Miss Wright is a young girl, and a pretty petite one at that. She couldn't possibly have hefted that large body up and it into the coffin. That's true. It does seem like it would be a rather difficult task for the defendant. I don't think even I could do it. What do you think of that, prosecutor? Who's the child now? In my religion, the priestess of Kuranism are revered as the pillars of our beliefs. So I naturally hold nothing but deep respect for women. I also think highly of the female perspective, says the man who called his fair maiden a little child. Who's a fair maiden? I agree that your point is worth discussing, defense. Now, indeed, was the dead body raised up into the coffin? By the accused Trucy Wright, that is? You're committing to pointing the finger at her no matter what, huh? Then you explain how that even be possible. But of course. There was a way for even a small creature like her to raise the victim's body up. Huh? Wait. You really can explain it? I foresaw that our arguments would come to this, so I have prepared a witness. Well, well, I admire your readiness, prosecutor. It is really not that difficult when one can read the ultimate outcome of any trial. He couldn't have really predicted that things would turn out like this, could he? It's pretty hard to believe. Excuse me, but may I step down now? Yes, I suppose you may. One moment, Detective Sky. I'm sorry for, the way I handled all this. You did a fine job, Detective. Your testimony was invaluable. It was? Yes, you served well as a detective and did not allow your personal feelings to interfere. You overcame the conflicted emotions you felt and performed your duty admirably. You will be rewarded for your fine work. Oh, thank you. I hope you can work together again in the future. Emma seems bewildered by the unexpected praise. I guess he's a pretty nice person, like they say, as long as you're not up against him. Now then, let us call the next witness. Yeah, that's who I assumed the next witness would be. Witness, please state your name and occupation. Hello, ladies and gentlemen of the court. It's very nice to meet all of you. I'm a lagomorphing illusionist from the land of fairy tales, Bonnie the Fame. I can't wait to do some magic tricks for you, all of you. Please, witness. There's a time and a place for all things, including magic. Aw, but if it would be okay if I do just a little magic, right? Come on, please. Look, everybody's waiting. Now's my chance to shine. That is your second time. My second time doing what? There will be no further warnings. You should know from what our predatory meeting, correct? Eep. Is no one exempt from his holiness's rosary of suffering? May we have your testimony, witness, once you've recovered from your disappointment? Well, as a huge fan of Trucy's, I don't really want to testify against her. But I guess I have to, don't I? As a huge fan of Trucy's, huh? I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand Trucy Wright. Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves. Surely you're a real fan, all right, of destroying Trucy, you mean? How can we prove that we heard her say those things, though? I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Riaz. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she used the stage lift. It is possible. Is it possible that could Trucy really have... If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift too. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way. You were on stage the whole time, and you're sure about that. There's no question. The entire audience could testify to that fact. That what's more, she is shown clearly in the TV show footage as well. I couldn't possibly have killed Mr. Riaz, not little ol' me. Therefore, the only person who could have killed the victim under stage was the accused. Furthermore, by using the stage lift, even a petite young lady could have raised the body to the stage without difficulty. You gotta be kidding me. Very well, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. The understage passage. I really can't believe that Trucy killed Mr. Riaz. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she used the stage lift. You know, I'm gonna start pressing things. Because none of what she's saying feels true. You said you are a huge fan of Trucy's, isn't that right? Oh yes, I even became a magician because I wanted to be just like her. The first time I saw her, she was performing at the Wonder Bar. She was only in junior high back then, but she got up on stage with tons of confidence. And then she proceeded to win my heart with her astonishing tricks and winning smile. She certainly sounds like she means all of that. So finally being able to perform with her must have been quite a treat for you, correct? Oh yes, after all, it was my chance to have her see me. Not just as a fan, but a fellow magician. But then that horrible accident happened. It was not an accident, it was murder. Witness, please explain if you would. How a small young woman such as Trucy Wright could have raised the body. I guess it's possible for a small girl to lift a dead body up if she used a stage lift. What makes you think it would be possible? It's not like you tried it out yourself, right? Well, actually, we did try it out for ourselves. You did? Detective Sky, if you would. Oh, so, so that's why you made me do that. Detective Sky, what did he have you to do? The prosecutor asked me to try raising one of the male police officers with the stage lift, without a single word of explanation as to why he was making me do it. You're kidding. It's as if he really can foresee all of our counter-arguments. Humph. Do not underestimate this humble servant of the Holy Mother. More like haughty. I guess this means Trucy could have lifted the dead body up. Does that mean... Is it possible? Could Trucy really have... Is what possible? Could Trucy really have what, Miss Defame? Please finish your sentence. Eek. Well, I... Don't try to beat around the bush. Come right out and say it. Why not tell this court what you really believe? What I really believe? Of course I don't believe Trucy could ever commit murder. Such an amazing and wonderful magician would never do such a thing. But taking all the facts into account, what else can I think? I know of at least 3 other unflattering things you really think about Trucy. How can you attack this girl when she is obviously speaking with reserve? There is such a thing as reading between the lines, Mr. Justice. It's sad how the youth of today lack the ability to do such basic thing. Looking at me like that isn't going to help me stick my foot in my mouth less, Your Honor. Witness, please describe that the accused might have used to lift the dead body. All right. If Trucy did use a stage lift, I think she must have used stage lift 2. Stage lift 2? You mean the stage lift shown here on the left? That's right. With a stage lift, I think even a small girl could lift the dead body up to the stage. And so that makes her the murderer, in your opinion. Of course not. I believe in Trucy. Like I said, I'm a huge fan of hers. Oh, brother. How long is she gonna keep this act up? Defense, what position was stage lift 2 in after the show? Let's see. If I recall, it was in the fully raised position. Ah! And the reason why it was fully raised is because the accused used it to lift the victim's body. Wouldn't you agree? Nah. Feel free to slowly mull over it while you roast over the flames of hell, you evil red pepper. So now I'm also evil. I was on stage for the entire show, by the way. You didn't have a single spare moment to slip down to the understage passage? Huh? Don't tell me you suspect me now. I'm just trying to do my job by fully examining your alibi. Depending on how solid it is, I might have to suspect you, yes. You gotta be kidding me. Don't spit on my head and tell me it's raining, lawyer boy. I'm right here in the footage, or are you too much of an idiot to see? Huh? Mr. Fame, are you feeling alright? You seem suddenly different. Oh, oops, where did that come from, right? Oh my, I seem to have snapped there for a second, didn't I? Teehee. You didn't just snap, you broke character just now. In any case, I was on stage the whole time, performing magic. I mean, you see me in the footage, right? My dazzling and flawless performance? Flawless? That's odd, considering what you told me. You said that you'd made a mistake with where you positioned Mr. Hat. Nah. Mr. Fame, to what is the defense referring? Well, I made a little mistake on stage. I was in charge of operating Mr. Hat, you see. According to the script, I was supposed to place him to the left of the coffin. But I fumbled it up and made him stand to the right of the coffin instead. And because of that mistake, Trucy had to move the stage lifts around. I felt really bad about messing Trucy up like that with my goof. Teehee. Darn it, I don't see any inconsistencies in her testimony. Hee hee hee. Now do you know who the real killer is? Come on, Gramps, don't just sit there. Hand down your ruling pronto. Do it quick before I kneel over up there. Keel over up there. I beg your pardon? Oops. Oh, what's gotten into me? I'm so sorry. I give her another 5 minutes before she tears off that mask. Well, Defense, are you ready to let it all go now? Of course not. I'll never give up. I see. I suppose this too is fate. The sacred scriptures of Quranism describe a variety of hells for the damned. For someone like you who struggles ceaselessly against his fate, Popol Bulgi seems most appropriate. People boil what? Oh wait, that's Kuranese. What, what sort of terrible place is Popol Bulgi? A place where the more one struggles, the further one falls into the abyss. At the bottom of the abyss, the ferocious beast awaits. Thinks of it as something akin to an antlion's stand trap pit trap. Oh, there's one of those in my backyard. Wow, Kernism hell is closer to home than I thought. Now then, it would appear that the witness's testimony supports the prosecution's claims that the defendant is only one who could have killed the victim understage. Gurk, how are we supposed to get out of this jam? Hey, Apollo, if you can't find any contradictions, maybe it's time to use analytical psychology. You mean, I heard some discord in Bonnie's voice while she was testifying. See, Widget is picking up on the noise in her heart, too. That's right, Athena can hear things others can't with her super sensitive hearing. She can hear the emotions people suppress as a kind of noise or discord in their voices. Alright, Athena, let's give it a try. You got it. Hold it! Your Honor, I'm afraid that our witness, Miss Defame, is suffering under terrible traumatic stress during this horrible incident. She is? Yes, what with that terrible death on stage, and her beloved Trucy getting arrested, she's under awful strain and shock. In fact, I don't know how much more she can take before she is unfit to testify. What? Oh, I've heard of that. What is it called? Postal stress disorder, right? It's where a person becomes uncontrollably angry, I think. I read about it somewhere. Or I read about it somewhere. That's going postal, Your Honor. This is PTSD. Oh my. So that's what why the victim acts so hostile at times, as if she were a different person. Yes, and I think her condition is clouding her memory of the incident. Therefore, I suggest a short therapy session for the witness. Huh? Therapy? You don't know the first thing about a magician's mental strength. I've risked my life jumping through rings of fire and having my body sawn in half. Oopsie. Boy, I have to watch my temper, don't I? Teehee. Miss Sykes, please do whatever you can to help this unfortunate young lady. And what exactly is this child planning to do, Mr. Justice? With her super-sensitive hearing, Miss Sykes can hear witnesses' true emotions. Simply from tone and inflection, she can tell exactly what a person is feeling. I can even pick out feelings that a witness is trying to suppress or hide. Widget protects the emotions I hear into the mood matrix, where I can analyze them. It sounds like some sort of spurious delivery, though I find it hard to believe, I must ask. How do emotions constitute evidence? Well, I won't say that emotions can be taken as evidence per se. I have seen how instrumental Miss Sykes' work has been in cracking the case. Therefore, I wholly support giving it a try. I see. If you are in favor of it, Honor, then I have no objections. Even this mere monk can see that something disturbs the witness. Humph. I'll disturb you. Oh, thank you for understanding, Prosecutor Sadhamati. Apollo, you remember how I conduct the therapy session, right? You want me to lead the session? Of course, you're the lead on the case after all. Fair enough, but, do I need a refresher? No need. I think I still remember from the last time, so let's get right into it. Okie dokie. You ready, Widget? Let's do this. Alright. I guess Trucy is the one who killed Mr. Riaz. Even she could move the body with that lift. I was on stage at the time. But that terrible mistake. My stupid flub caused Trucy so much trouble. I feel so bad about it. If you feel so bad, why are you happy? I have to say, Mr. Fame, you certainly are a strange one. Even though you said I feel so bad about it, it seems you were happy about it. Nah. Ouch. I think I can guess why you were feeling happy. It must be because it was Trucy's big debut. You made a mistake. You messed Trucy up. You messed Trucy up. I think you were happy because you messed the defendant up. Nah. I'm right, aren't I? You gotta be kidding me. Why would I be happy I messed Trucy up? I'm a big fan of hers. Because we saw you. I hate her. I loathe her. I can't stand Trucy Wright. Just because she's a little good at magic, she thinks she's all that. So this is exactly what that sniveling brat deserves. We saw how you said you hate Trucy Wright. How you were glad she was in trouble, and even how it was what she deserved. Ouch! It looks like I hit the bunny on the head, so to speak. Nah. Halfway. Nice. Apollo, the noise level dropped. Now if we could get it down to 0%. Well, Miss Defame, are you ready to confess how you really feel? What? What do you mean? I'm Bonnie the sweet, cute little bunny. I'm a rookie magician working hard to be just like my idol, Trucy. That's the character I'm supposed to be. Exactly, that's the character you're supposed to be. Character. Keep that up, Miss Defame, and you're going to have a mental breakdown. Just let yourself be who you really are. Who I really am? The two sides of you are fighting each other and doing your psychic harm. I can hear them. Two distinct voices battling inside you. Shut your pie hole. You know nothing, know-it-all. I mean, I must have you mustn't say things like that, or I might get flustered. Miss Defame, how long do you insist on maintaining this wolf in sheep's clothing act? We can't end this therapy session until you get real with us. Set the wild beast inside you free. Ouch. Grr. Hehehe. Ha 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 ha. Don't make me laugh. You don't know a damn thing about me. You want to see who I really am? Fine, take a good look. Kihihi. Kikikikihi. What in the world? Sheep's clothing? You've got it all wrong. It's a rabbit suit I've got on. And I'm not a wolf. I'm a blood-sucking vampire. A bat with fangs and wings. Hee hee hee. Kee. Eek. I think we just opened Pandora's box. Kee. I'm finally done with the goody two-shoes cottontail act. I feel free as a bat. Kee. Well, I didn't see that coming. Defense, your therapy session has taken a turn for the worst from the looks of it. There's a perfect good explanation for this, isn't there, Miss Sykes? Me thinks I created a monster. We blew it. Hey, you, lobster boy. Who, me? You think I'm glad Trucy is in trouble? That I think she's getting her just desserts? Well, guess what? You're right. Kihihi. Kikikikihi. Does this mean you admit to wishing the defendant harm? Well, the bat is out of the bag now. Kihihi. That mistake of mine was a work of art. Thanks to my goof, poor little Trucy had to do all of that hard physical labor. When you say hard physical labor, what are you referring to? Because of Mr. Hat's new position, Trucy had to move both those huge stage lifts. They must have been so heavy. What a riot. Kihihi. That's strange. Athena, could you please add that last statement to Bonnie's testimony? Alright, I'll update the mood matrix with the new info. Hey Apollo. Now there's a new inconsistency in the testimony. Yeah, she finally slipped up. But what do I need to know now? Do now? Well, from this point onward, you just do what you do best. Find the contradiction in the testimony and present evidence to refute it. Alright, I've got you now, Bonnie Defame. Oh, hey lad. Sorry I don't, add strangers to my Discord, but I'm, glad you're enjoying the stream. I guess Trucy is the one who killed Mr. Riaz. Even she could move the body with that lift. I was on stage at the time, but that terrible mistake. You know what? Serves her right. Ki. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts. Alright. You know what? I want to focus on this one, I think. Do I present? I guess we would use this at this time. Trucy moved the stage lift to cover up for Bonnie's mistake. She told no one about this. Bonnie messed up Mr. Hat's position for the escape trip, placing him opposite the scripted location on the right side. As a result, Trucy had to quickly move the lifts under the stage. She never told anyone that she had moved the stage lifts.
Objection!
That doesn't make sense. What? So you think I'm crazy now? No, that's not the point I was trying to make. But I don't hear you denying it. Miss the Fame, please allow me to repeat your statement. Thanks to that, she ended up having to move the stage lifts. Hehehe. That's right. And I still... But how did you know? How did you know Miss Wright moved the stage lifts? Huh? According to her own statement, she didn't tell anyone that she had done so. What? Oh yeah. So how could you possibly have known what she had done unless you saw her? You saw Miss Wright moving the lifts in the understage passage, didn't you? Key! Yeah, that could only be the case, really. You did it, Apollo. Noise levels are at 0%. But Mr. Justice, wouldn't that mean... Yes, Your Honor. Miss Defame herself was under the stage when the victim was killed. And I hardly need to tell the court what that means. Nah. You are one artful liar, Miss Defame, and one spectacular suspect. Yeah. What? Why, you shiny red lobster boy? You're saying I killed Mr. Riaz? I'm saying that it is a possibility, what's more. I say you had a solid motive to frame my client for the murder as well. My apologies for raining on the defense's merry revelry. But you seem to have forgotten one very important point. Oh really? The TV footage. As you can clearly see, Miss Defame was on the stage the whole time. The entire audience can bear witness to that fact, including you. Oh yeah. But if she was on stage the entire time, how could she even be in charge of Mr. Hat anyway? You have just taken a long and senseless journey, only to return to the starting line. The witness could not have been in the understage passage, which means the only one left who could have killed the victim is the accused. Ack! Guess the party's over. Nah. But Miss Defame knew something that she couldn't have known unless she was under the stage. How do you explain that, Prosecutor Sadamahi? It's quite simple. The accused must have told Miss Defame about it, but then she forgot. Ha! Open those useless eyes of yours. Take a good look at the footage. If Miss Defame really was in the understage passage, it would mean she was on stage and understage at the same time. You mean she was in two places at once? Maybe she's a twin. That doesn't seem to be the only explanation that makes any sense. It may be an explanation, but I'm not sure about the make sense part. Then we'll just have to make it make sense. Your Honor, the witness was both on stage and understage at the same time. That's the defense's assertion. I've heard some illogical things come out of you before, but this is absurd. I'm sure you'll change your tune once you hear my reasoning, Your Honor. My gut tells me you're bluffing, but I'll bite. Very well, Mr. Justice. How do you explain from the witness was in two places at once? She teleported? There were two Bonnies. The Bonnie on stage is fake. I think there were two Bonnies. Somehow. There were two Bonnies, Your Honor. If that were the case, it would all make sense, wouldn't it? There were two of them? I suspected you had a few screws loose, but now I can see some are missing altogether. Is there a toolkit in this courtroom, Your Honor? I suppose two, no, three screws to the head should righten this putrid brain. Very well, bailiff, could you... No, wait. Please listen to my argument. Very well. I suppose it wouldn't hurt to at least give it a listen. As was argued earlier, Miss Defame was shown in the footage the whole time, but at the same time, she was also watching Miss Wright in the understage passage. The only possible explanation is that there are two Bonnies. That almost sounds like it makes sense. What do you think, Prosecutor Satamahi? This humble servant of the Holy Mother is of the opinion that we should lose no time in replacing the defense's many lost screws. But Apollo, it goes against reality itself to say that one person is actually two. But we don't have to be bound by reality after all. We're talking about magic here. So if Bonnie Defame is in the footage is really the real Bonnie, then the Bonnie here on the witness stand, the one who must have been understage, this Bonnie Defame, is our second Bonnie. Key! She is? Say, we call the one in front of us Bonnie too. I believe I have just the piece of evidence to prove that a Miss Bonnie 2 exists. Oh, then please submit your evidence, Mr. Justice. What proves the existence of Bonnie number 2? Bonnie teleportation trick and Trucy escape trick. Grammy Creed, body, finger trip, prints on the lid, Bonnie Defame. It's just on the lid though. It's empty. Contract signed by Trucy. Trucy moved stage lifts. Already up. Contain the rubber sword. A disc with the recording of Trucy's escape trick on it. Clipboard used by Trucy to sign her contract. The victim real name, his blood on the murder weapon. I want to say maybe... Oh, maybe the fingerprints, because there were prints that were unknown. That would make sense. What's this? Because no one person could have two fingerprints. Or no two people could have the same fingerprints. During our investigation, we found a set of unknown prints on the coffin on the stage. These prints were most likely left during the course of the show. But they didn't match the prints of any of the people involved in this case. Unknown third party's prints? I was not told of this. Emma must have kept it from him. So the question is, who could these prints possibly belong to? Miss Defame, or should I say Bonnie number 2. These are your fingerprints, aren't they? Yeah. Enough of this foolishness. One person could not possibly be two. Those fingerprints could have been left, not only during the show, but at any time. It's not like you to lose your cool like that, Prosecutor Sadhamadi. And I'm sure you know that. Exactly when the fingerprints were made is not the main issue. What do you mean by that, Mr. Justice? The issue is, who do these unknown prints belong to? They're certainly not Bonnie DeFames. But what if they belong to the person standing right in front of us? Oh? You mean Bonnie number 2 is the second Bonnie? Is that what you're implying? Nah. It's preposterous to suggest that those prints belong to the witness. If they must belong to some other unknown individual. Prosecutor Sadhamati, can you really look at her and still say that? What are you looking at? Take a picture, it'll last longer. How could this be? If we check her prints, I'm sure they'll match the unknown set. Yeah, just do another print test. Well, Bonnie, the prints that don't belong to the real you belong to you, don't they, Bonnie number 2? Yeah. What witness? Is what the defense has said true? Yeah. Fine, I admit it. The fingerprints are mine. Then does that mean you aren't Bonnie DeFame? What? Ridiculous. Are there really 2 Bonnies? Nope, there's only 1 Bonnie. That's because I'm Betty. Betty DeFame. What? Ladies and gentlemen of the court, it's time for a wondrous magic show. Gasp in amazement as this logomorphing illusionist performs her teleportation trick. Watch closely, it's showtime. Uh-huh. Alright. What an amazing trick. The people have suddenly split into 2 people. It's not a trick. No gimmick to it either. We're simply twins. You know what? I called it. What? Twins? So that's how the teleportation trick works. Ever since our debut, I've had to hide or pretend I'm Bonnie. All cute and sweet and goody-goody. I can't tell you how stressful it's been. But I don't have to hide anymore. That's right, our days of sneaking around are finally over. Their cover is blown, but they actually seem pretty happy about it. So, which of you is the nice Bonnie DeFame we met in the dressing room? That would be me. And the sharp-tongued Bonnie we saw with the ratings Raj understage was... Hey, who are you calling sharp-tongued? It's all starting to make sense now. So, Mr. Justice, this changes the facts of the case rather dramatically, doesn't it? It certainly does. During the show, it was Bonnie who was on stage the whole time. So Bonnie couldn't have committed the murder. But Betty, on the other hand, who was understage, did have the opportunity. Nah. Well, well. Uh, well, so we now have two suspects. Wait just a minute here, lobster boy. I didn't do it. That's right. Betty might have a foul mouth, but she'd never kill anybody. Hey, who's got a foul mouth here? Oh, well, speak up, huh? Please save your sibling squabbling for later. Betty, you must have been in the understage passage during the show. Otherwise, you wouldn't have known about the stage lifts being moved. So, what exactly were you doing down there? Fine, I'll testify. Anything to get you off my back. Prosecutor Sad Hamadi, Betty Defame, is ready to testify. What do you say? Betty, you lied to this humble servant of the Holy Mother. Hey, what else could I do? I couldn't blow our cover and ruin our magic act. Kihi. Besides, am I going to go to your Twilight Hell or whatever for being a liar? You will indeed. However, it wouldn't be after your death, rather. I shall give you a taste of your punishment on this mortal coil in interrogation hell. Eek! Now then, Betty Defame, please explain to this court what exactly you were doing under the stage. It's true, I had business to the understage passage because of the upcoming act, or trick. It was the fire trick, right? The one Mr. Riaz was supposed to do. That's right. It's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it. But you weren't prepared for it at all. It was in the script, and I really wanted to see it, but I couldn't because of the accident. Shut up, you're gonna give it away. Anyway, I was real busy. Yeah, way too busy to have the chance to kill Mr. Riaz. Well, that was certainly different. Kihihi. How's that for a flawless testimony and alibi? Our magic is real. It's not a trick or a gimmick. Oh my, she's floating. I can see the hands. Your Honor. You can see she's being held up from below. You were supposed to pretend you didn't see that. It's a little something called etiquette. But, I can't help it. Whenever I see a contradiction or an inconsistency, I just have to point it out. Now then, the defense may begin its cross-examination. Sounds good to me. Alright now. That's right, it's a very dangerous trick, so I had to make sure we were prepared for it, but you weren't. So let me produce the evidence that says you weren't prepared at all. Objection! Just like you assumed it would never happen in the first place or something. I hate to break this to you, Betty, but there's a big flaw in your testimony. As big as the one in that floating trick you did earlier. Oh, harsh words. Well, let me tell you something, forehead boy. No one has ever figured out how we do our teleportation trick. No one except me, you mean? Well, we have even better tricks up our sleeves. Huh? We do? I told you to keep it zipped. Now, don't fight, you two. Mr. Justice, what's this all about a flaw in the testimony? The script has this to say about the fire trick. This will be dangerous. This will be dangerous. Make sure the fire bucket is ready. However, we found the fire bucket lying empty backstage, except for a layer of dust. Ack! I... Ouch! You see, you didn't even attempt to get ready for the next trick, did you, Betty? You got me. Betty Defame, you will explain yourself. Nah, there's nothing to explain. Come on, Betty. We can't hide it any longer. We might as well tell them. Shut up. You can barely take care of yourself. Don't try and tell me what to do. Well, if neither of you will explain, I guess I'll have to. The reason Betty didn't prepare for the fire trick is because she knew the show wouldn't go on. You didn't prepare for the fire trick because you knew, didn't you? You knew that the body would be found and the show would then be cancelled. Ah! Don't be ridiculous. You're insignificant speck of the man. I'm gonna yank those lame bangs off. Is that what you want, huh? Whatever. They can grow back. Now stop stalling and just tell us the truth already. Nah, I can't reveal my secrets. I'm a magician. You have been chasing the shadow of an illusionary culprit defense. And having chance upon a convenient target, you have let yourself get carried away. Exactly. Where's your proof, huh? And yet, I concede that the witness's taste of false words has also been proven. I advise you to confine your deceitful trickery to your magic act, witness. Grr, deceitful trickery? As your court-appointed therapist, I'd like to add something here, Betty. You finally let yourself be who you really are. But if you continue to hide behind lies, you'll just be imprisoning your heart all over again. But all these questions make you're trying to put me in prison for real. So I'll be behind bars either way. Does that mean you're admitting your guilt? Of course not. I can't believe you people. Every one of you thinks I did something I didn't do. You... Lobster boy, cue-balled geezer, head case brat, Cerberus monk. Cue-ball geezer? Head case brat? Really? But Betty, calm down. Come on now. Deep breaths, deep breaths. Huff, huff, huff. Look, I'm not the murderer, I tell you. Then how did you know the show would be called off before the fire trick? I told you. We can't reveal our secrets. We're under contract. Contract? What is she talking about? But That as it may, you're obviously a suspect in that case. I'm begging. I'm beginning to see the karmic threads that make up the intricate tapestry of that is this case. Huh? Allow me to summarize your assertions, defense. First, that the victim was killed in the understage passage. And second, that the witness and the accused are the only two who could have done it. Exactly. What's more, Betty knew that the body would be found, and that the magic show would then be called off. Therefore, it's reasonable to conclude that Betty killed the victim understage. But what if Betty knew that the show would be called off for some reason, some other reason? Like what? In the course of my investigation, I found it strange that the dragon set piece fell when it did. That, in conjunction with the body tumbling from the coffin in such a dramatic fashion, all seemed too perfect for mere happenstance. I see what you're saying. You're saying that the dragon falling was supposed to cancel the show. Yeah, I don't believe that one. It was as though the entire chain of events had been planned out in advance. Key? Ouch! Planned out. After deciding to take this case, I scrumptiously studied everything I could about the mass media in this country. I read the newspaper, old news reports, I even browsed tabloid magazines. How very industrious of you. I'm impressed. During this process, I learned about a strange practice favored by the TV world. A practice called the hidden camera prank. Ah! Betty and Bonnie, you knew about this, did you not? About the dead body appearing, the set piece falling, the show being suspended. You two were informed of this plan. By Take-Two TV in advance, correct? Ah! Is that true? Betty, please. Let's tell them now. I can't hold it in anymore. Dang it. Fine, you got us. Everything the prosecutor said is true. The TV station paid us to cooperate with them on this plan. It was a prank, a big setup planned out in advance. Mr. Riaz showing up dead in the coffin. The set piece falling down. It was all completely scripted. It was all a prank? I don't think a dead body is a prank. Bonnie, is this really true? Yes, Mr. Riaz was supposed to pretend to be dead. That's how it was supposed to go. I see. So he was in on it too. That's right. He was supposed to show up dead in the coffin. And then the set piece would fall down. Trucy would be in shock and start to panic. That's how the prank script went. What? What the heck kind of prank is that? But we never thought he'd actually wind up dead. Yeah, that was the only thing that was different from the script. Poor Mr. Riaz. I'm so completely lost right now. Well, Betty and Bonnie, it certainly sounds like you have some explaining to do. Alright. I guess desperate times called for desperate measures. Hehehe. Just this once, we'll show how it was done with you. So listen carefully. You'll never hear this kind of thing anywhere else. Oh, I just realized in the other concealed cage is probably a bat. After the teleportation trick, I went down under stage. When Mysterious' body appeared from the coffin on stage, it was time for Betty to do her job in the understage passage. That's right, I used the remote control for the winch connected to the dragon set piece and made it fall down. And just before the dragon fell, I called Trucy to the backstage so she wouldn't get hurt. After all, the plan was for Mr. Riaz to come back to life in front of a panicked Trucy. He was supposed to laugh and fly up and away. That was how it was scripted anyway. But for some reason, he really did turn up dead, so he kind of just stayed on the ground. What kind of sick joke is that? Very horrible joke. It sounds like a terribly mean-spirited prank to me. The poor defendant was trying to do her magic show. I guess so. I'm sorry, Trucy. Whatever. It was all the ratings Raj's idea anyway. Yeah, it sounds like just the kind of thing a guy like him would come up with. This is the prank script we got from the ratings Raj. Alright. Dang it, you made us break our contract. Now we won't get paid. But where does this all leave us? Who killed the victim, and when? Yes, exactly. Those are the key questions. If Mr. Riaz was only pretending to be dead in the coffin as a part of the prank, then when he was under stage, there would still be life within him. And if that is the case, then Betty, who is also under stage, may be excluded from our list of suspects. That's what she wants you to believe. Witness. Was the victim alive up until he entered the coffin? Oh well, now that we've spilled the beans, we might as well show you this video. There's a video? Greetings, viewers. It is I, the great Mr. Riaz. We are currently in the middle of Trucy's escape trick. Having snuck through the understage passage undetected, I am now hiding backstage, preparing to play a little prank on Trucy. I'm about to hide in the coffin, which Trucy will stab with her rubber sword. And when the coffin opens, ho ho, I will be in it, acting as though I've met my maker. Can you imagine the look on Trucy's face then? Ho ho, I can hardly wait. He's about to hide in the coffin? It would seem the thread of karmic destiny have led us to the truth. The victim passed through the understage where Betty the Fame was, and came up into the backstage area. We know this because Mr. Riaz appeared to be backstage when he shot the video we saw. It appears that way, yes. And defense, you proposed the following, didn't you not? What if the victim was killed under the stage before being put into the coffin? But then, what about this video? This footage was taken just before Mr. Riaz entered the coffin. Was it, though? Or was it before he even went to the understage? Nah. Oh, so does that mean... Yes, it is horrible but true. The tragedy did indeed play out right there on the stage. went into the coffin where Mr. Rias was hiding. Trucy Wright thrust her blade. Uh, ah! Hehehe. See? I told you so. So, are you saying the incident was a tragic accident that happened during a prank? It would be an accident if the accused had no knowledge of the prank beforehand. So, let us ask the accused herself. Miss Wright, did you have prior knowledge of the prank? What? I... Tell him, Trucy. You didn't know anything about it, right? Of course I didn't. I didn't know a single thing about it. Still think you can play innocent, do you? In that case, you leave me little choice but to present this piece of evidence. It looks like some sort of note. Ah! That's... I found this note in the dressing room after the incident. At the time, I did not understand what it meant, but all is clear to me now. Bonnie, get the video camera after Mr. Rias comes out tumbling. What's this? Let's see, it says, get the video camera after Mr. Rias comes out tumbling. It is a note signed by the accused, instructing Bonnie to collect Mr. Rias's video camera from him, it seems. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense. I found it in the dressing room before the show. When I saw it, I realized that Trucy knew about the prank. It doesn't bear her signature. It does bear her signature, I'll give you that much. But we know a way that you were forging signatures. So the defendant had prior knowledge of the prank. It would appear so, yes. When she learned about the prank to trick her, she decided to use it to her own advantage. So she thrust the steel sword into the coffin, where the victim stood chuckling to himself. So is that not what happened, Miss Wright? Of course not. And I didn't write or sign that note. Ah, but the handwriting matches yours. All the evidence and testimonies points to you being the culprit. But I didn't do it. It wasn't me. Then explain the existence of this note. You can do that, can you not? I can't explain it. I didn't write it, so I don't understand. I didn't kill Mr. Rias. You have to believe me. Oh, come on, someone say something. The silence is deafening. Continue struggling against the threads of your own karma if you wish, accused. Even as you are inescapably caught in the web of fate you've spun for yourself. Miss Wright, it is time to resign yourself to your fate. No, I didn't do it. Ha, I knew it. That sweet-looking girl, a murderer? She took all of us and... I told you she would never homicide Little from the start. But I didn't do it. I really didn't. Why doesn't anyone believe me? Shut up, you killer. We won't fall for that anymore. This is bad. Your Honor, I suggest we put an end to this tragedy now. Give your official ruling and let us offer the victim's soul the last rites it deserves. Very well. I suppose I have no other choice. This court hereby finds the defendant Trucy Wright The defense has an objection. Apollo! Even now you would. I won't give up, and I refuse to let either of them down. Mr. Wright, who's counting on me, and Trucy, who's put all of her faith in me. Mr. Justice, the fact that you have raised an objection means that you have evidence with which to refute the prosecution's claims, correct? Yes, of course, Your Honor. Do we really have anything, Apollo? Actually, we do. There's one piece of evidence we can present here. Very well, Mr. Justice, you may proceed. As we saw in the show footage, there's no question that the defendant thrust the sword into the coffin. The defense doesn't dispute this point. But let us not forget that this was a magic show, filled with tricks and illusions. We can't take everything we see at face value. So you're saying some sleight of hand was somehow involved? Yes. The defense contends that the sword the defendant used was not the cause of death. Now, what was it Trucy told me she did just before she thrust the sword into the coffin? Very well. Let us see your evidence then, Mr. Justice. But remember, you interrupted my verdict to make this claim. You will be severely penalized if I find you are bluffing. 3, huh? Gurk. That's fine, Your Honor. This shows that it's possible the sword Mr. Wright used was not the cause of death. Well, you're asking what she did before she stabbed the box. And what she did was she swapped the swords. What's this? A sword from the show? That's right, Your Honor. This rubber sword was in the sword stand under stage. During the trick, Miss Wright was supposed to swap the real sword for the rubber sword. And she told us on record that she remembers very clearly that she did. I see. So the sword the defendant thrust into the coffin was a rubber sword, was it? But then why was a steel sword found lying on the stage? Somebody must have put the steel sword there by swapping it with the rubber one. Just after the incident occurred, the dragon set piece fell and the theater was evacuated. The real culprit must have used the resulting chaos to swap the rubber sword for the steel one. Do you not know when to give up, Stinkbug? That is not possible. Blood was found in the coffin hole that the sword was thrust into. It must have been left there when the accused withdrew the sword. Or somebody else stabbed him beforehand. This is unconvertible proof that the sword was the steel one. Objection! But that blood could have been the result of someone tampering with the crime scene after the fact. After the set piece fell and the audience was cleared out of the theater, there was plenty of time for somebody to plant that blood there. If the sword the accused used was a rubber one, then when exactly do you propose the victim was killed? Given that Mr. Reyes was alive when he entered the coffin. Objection! Finding the answer to that question is precisely why we need to continue this trial. Let me express my opinion. By all accounts, it is certainly reasonable to suspect the defendant based on the evidence. But as to question of whether the sword the defendant used was rubber or steel. I believe further discussion is warranted. I suggest we hear from the defendant herself on this issue. Very well, Your Honor. Yes, I saved it somehow. Too close for comfort, but still. Alright. This adjourned for a brief 15-minute recess. I advised prosecution and the defense to use this time to prepare. Perfect time for me to get a drink because my throat is slightly dry from all this talking, so I'll be right back, everyone. Alright, I'm back. Phew, that was hairy. Tell me about it. We barely made it through by the skin of my teeth. I can't say I'm crazy about that prosecutor Sad Hamadi either. You know, with the ways he says let it go and move on as if it's nothing. Let it go and move on, huh? Whoa, boy, am I interrupting a secret conclave of villains or something? Got your next evil scheme in the works already? What do you want? Heh, keep making that face, champ, and everybody's gonna change the channel. Look this way, Trucy, now smile for the camera. Let's see those pearly whites. Isn't that what your grammary creed tells you to do? How does it feel, Trucy? Everybody online can't stop talking about you. They're calling you a real witch out there. Could this be the end of troop grammary? Go away, you creep! Oh, what's this? Something just charged into frame. It looks like a yellow gorilla or something. Could it be Trucy's pet? Filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. Do you want me to get the bailiff? Huh? Filming? What are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me. Huh? What happened to the camera? It just disappeared right before our very eyes. Heh. I'll be enjoying the rest of the Trucy show from the gallery. I put out a call for Trucy's fan to come and support her earlier, by the way. Bet I'll get some great footage out of them. This is gonna be good. Hang loose, baby. He called in some of Trucy's fans, but for what purpose? Apollo. That thing Mr. Reetons just did. That was some high-level sleight of hand. Huh? Why would you know how to do something like that? I don't know, but he definitely has some serious magic skills. No way. But I thought he said magicians were a bunch of good-for-nothings. Mr. Lawyer. Oh, hello, Bonnie. Can I help you with something? Well, there's something that's been bothering me. Really? What is it? Well, you see... Hey, dummy! What are you whispering to the lobster boy about? But Betty... Who the heck are you think you are? Are you crazy? You want a piece of this? You know you have to talk to me first before you do and say anything, you harebrain. Meep, but I... Shut your mouth, you dumb bunny. Come with me now. I wonder what was bothering her. There's no way we're finding out with Betty constantly hovering over her like that. Court is about to reconvene. Will you be alright testifying? Yes, it's just... I wonder what Mr. Reetons has up his sleeve. I doubt he's bringing in actual fans. Yeah, probably not. I wonder what he has up his sleeve, too. He'd better not be trying to get under Trucy's skin right now, of all times. You're Trucy right, and you'll be fine. Oh, there goes Apollo with his best trick. That's right, whenever I'm feeling down, I always tell myself I'm fine. Alright, I'll give it a try. I'm Trucy right and I'm fine. Thanks, Polly. I think I can do this now. That a girl. Good luck up there on the stand. You'll do great. Thanks. I'll be fine, and I can do this. Alright, Justice. You can do this too. Time to focus on the rest of the trial. Court is now back in session. Defendant, please step up to the witness stand. Trucy Wright, magician. Here comes the liar, the deceitful witch. Throw the murderer in jail, the last member of the criminal troupe. Boo, we don't want to see you on stage. Order. The gallery will be quiet or I will have you all thrown out on the spot. What's with all the hecklers? I bet they're the fans Mr. Ritten's invited. What a grade A jerk. Well, he's not going to psych us out. Now then, Mr. Wright, this court would like to know if you switched from the steel sword to rubber one on stage. So please, testify about this issue. She's just gonna try and trick us again with her magic. Hurry up and convict her already. Give her the death penalty. Nah ha 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 ha. Silence, all of you. I won't tell you again. Miss Wright, do you feel able to testify? Yes, I'm fine, Your Honor. Trucy, I knew I shouldn't have let her go through with this. I'd like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words, I'll show you exactly what happened. Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourselves. In spite of everything, she's still smiling. Our Trucy is amazing, isn't she? She sure is. She's doing just fine up there. A true entertainer. Always keeps a smile on their face. She's faithful following the troop Grammary Creed, even now. She really is something else. It's showtime for magical girl Trucy Wright. Watch carefully now, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention on this sword. Allow me to demonstrate just how sharp this blade truly is. See that? No tricks or gimmicks. A very sharp sword indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this sword and... Presto Sordo. There, I've switched it. And now, hup! As you can see, the blade is not steel, but rubber. But... Bravo, Miss Wright. Wow, she switched them in a flash. I couldn't see her do it at all. She's completely turned the room around. The hecklers are being drowned out by all the cheering. Where did the steel sword vanish off to, Miss Wright? In order to deepen our understanding of the case, please tell us if you would. I'm not asking out of mere curiosity, just so you know. I usually hide the steel sword backstage when I switch them during the show. So when you thrust a rubber sword into the coffin, the steel sword wasn't even on stage, but behind the curtain? Exactly. So you see, there is a trick and a gimmick to it after all. And as for where the steel sword went when I performed the trick just now, it's a secret. I wouldn't want to spoil the magic, you know. Now, would I? Ho ho ho! That's our Trucy. Yeah, still. Miss Wright, that part where you spun around, that's an actual part of the sword switching trick you do for the show, right? Right. The other parts, like the apple, were just to help with my explanation here in court. That's funny. I think I found an inconsistency with her testimony. You did? Humph. And it looks like I'm not the only one. I don't know what it's doing there. But now that I've found it, I have to get to the bottom of it. I have no idea what he's talking about, but I'll figure it out. Now then, Mr. Justice, you may go ahead and question the witness, but try not to ask dumb questions and spoil this wondrous magic. I thought this was supposed to be my cross-examination. Alright. Ladies and gentlemen, please focus your attention on this sword. Allow me to demonstrate just how sharp this blade truly is. See that? No tricks or gimmick. A very sharp sword indeed. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, watch as I take this sword and... Presto... Sordo, there, I've switched it. And now, hup! As you can see, the blade is not steel, but rubber. Can see that pretty clearly. What do I do? Don't know what he means. I'm guessing it's the changing of the sword. So I'm guessing it's that part. Now what, though? Maybe it's not the exact thing she did on stage? Okay, the sword is up in the air. Spin. Out. Okay. But she doesn't spin.
Objection!
Miss Wright, there's something I'd like to confirm with you. What is it, Apollo? There seems to be a discrepancy between the way you performed the trick for us just now and the way it appears in the show footage. What? But that can't be. I performed it exactly the same way both times. Somebody must have changed the footage, I swear. Then what's going on here? Mr. Wright, I have the show footage right here, and the part where you twirl your cape around is missing from it. What? But I did it. So it really is the exact moment you switch the swords. Yes, that's right. I knew it. Well, I certainly never expected the defense to expose the accused lies for me. Mr. Wright, oh my god, Mr. Justice, does this mean that you are arguing that the defendant did not swap the swords during the actual magic show? No, Your Honor, that wasn't my intention. I mean, I did swap them. I know I did. I'm absolutely sure of it.
Objection!
Human error is unreliable at best, but in this case, I am afraid that it is the witness herself who cannot be trusted. You can see the footage for ourselves. The claims of this witness are false. But now that it has been proven that the accused did not swap the swords, it means that the use of the steel sword to pierce the coffin was wholly intentional. Gurk. And by the way, was it not you, Mr. Justice, who argued that Mr. Ries's death was not an accident but murder? I assume you have no objections to that still. It was, after all, your own assertion. The defense,
Objection!
The defense has no objection. To you, Mr. Apollo Justice. I demand you withdraw the discrepancy you pointed out now. But there is a discrepancy, and it must mean something, I'm sure of it. Would the defense team kindly save their spat until after court is adjourned? Now, after all of this debate, it seems we've come back around to the original argument. The defendant knew about the prank plan that would place the victim inside the coffin. What's more, the defendant did not perform the sword-switching trick on stage. Through her actions, I'm afraid I have come to see the true intentions of the accused, her murderous intentions. It's such a shame. But I did switch the swords, I swear. You're knee-deep in it now, Justice. Can there not be like another piece of footage, another angle, something? Excuse me. Let's see. You are... Which one again? Benny? No, that's not right. Body? It's Bonnie. You were mixing the two names together, Your Honor. Oh, pardon me. And do you have something you wish to say, Bonnie? Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to testify. About what? The more I think about it, the less possible it seems. I don't believe Trucy killed Mr. Riez. Bonnie? Hey, what's the big idea? Such an incredible, gifted, and talented magician would never commit murder. I refuse to believe it. What are you talking about, you harebrained hare? You keep your trap shut. I've got a bag of baby carrots for you, so chew on those and pipe down. No, I won't be quiet. What's the matter with you? Didn't you hear me? Trucy said something to me once. Huh? She said no matter how scared you get, no matter how mean people are to you, you can't give in or give up. That's what being a professional magician is all about. Isn't that right, Trucy? That's right, Bonnie. I've always been afraid to stand up to Betty, afraid to defy her, so I did what she said. But when I saw Trucy today, she gave me strength. She's just gonna try and trick us again with her magic. Hurry up and convict her already. Give her the death penalty. Nah ha ha ha. I'd like to make a small request. How about instead of testifying with words, I show you exactly what happened? Would that be alright, Your Honor? You can witness my stupendous sword-switching magic and judge for yourselves. Seeing her courage, the way she kept smiling despite everything, she's just incredible. So, I'm not going to run away. I'm scared, but for once, I'm going to be brave. Grr, what have you done to my sister, Trucy, Wright? You practically brainwashed her. It's the power of Trucy's conviction. That's what it is. It's touched Bonnie's heart. Yeah, Trucy really is one magical girl. Bonnie, is the topic of your testimony related to that thing that was bothering you? The thing you tried to tell us about in the lobby during the recess? Yes, ever since I saw the show footage, something's been nagging at me. I'm not exactly sure what it is, but something is off. I feel like something about it is different from what I saw on the stage. What do you mean by that, Bonnie? I wonder if what was shown on TV is really the same as what happened on stage. Of course it is. The show has only been performed once, after all. It can't show anything other than what happened on that stage yesterday. Had these people never heard of editing before?
Objection!
But Bonnie's testimony deserves our attention. We have to examine the show footage. But what can we check it? But can we check it again? Wait, sorry, let me start again. But what can we check it against? Do you have some other footage of the show? Well, I have some show footage. You do? One of the TV station's cameramen said he was a fan of mine. He kept his camera on me throughout the entire show. And then afterwards, he gave me the footage he shot as a present. He did? To tell you the truth, I thought it was kind of creepy, so I was going to get rid of it. But please submit that footage to the court. Hopefully this shows something. Now then, please take a look at this new footage. Alright. It is from a different angle. Oh, this isn't gonna show enough, is it? Dang it. What? Wow, okay then. He really did keep his camera on Bonnie the whole time, didn't he? I think this cameraman needs to keep his personal feelings out of his work. Well, Defense, do you still believe this new show footage is worth inspecting? Of course I do. Okay, so how are we gonna go about this? Let's try comparing the two. We just might find an inconsistency between them. An inconsistency, huh? Yes, the two pieces of footage are of the same scene, so they should match up. But Bonnie felt there was something off about the original footage. So if we can pick up what's different between the two, we'll know what Bonnie found strange. Exactly. Plus, we may figure out why the original doesn't show the sword switching trick. Your Honor, the defense would like to compare these two pieces of show footage. Very well, I will allow it. What a waste of time. Apollo, do you know how to compare the two pieces of footage? No, I've never done it before. I'll give you a little lesson then. Use the video player's buttons to go through the footage. When you want to speed through, use the fast forward button. Okay? And if you want to go back, use the rewind button. If you want to halt the playback, just press the pause button. Okay? Oh, and by the way, if you fast forward or rewind when the playback is paused, you can do a slow frame-by-frame playback. Okay, so how do I switch between the two videos? Just use the switch camera button, Q. Now, if you find the difference between the two pieces of footage, put the cursor over what's different and press present to the court. Thanks, Athena. You really know your stuff. Not really. I just gave it some gusto and then went with my gut on most of it. What? I sure hope she is guessing right. Anyway, let's give it a try. Alright. Let's hope we can figure something out from this. I think my plan is to pause right after the smoke. Okay. Now let's switch the footage. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what it's doing now. Wait. Rewind a bit. B. Okay, now let's switch. Would that even really be shown in the first place? Wait a minute. I think I have something that, on this one that could, be used. Play. The cards. I don't think the cards were in the other one. No, not at all. Even if I rewind a little bit, like that would mean the cards are kinda in the middle. So let's switch. Yeah, no cards at all. Okay. How do I present? Court record? No. G? No. Oh, the present is cut off for me. E? No. R? There we go. For some reason it wasn't showing me the button on how to present. This is it right here. Take a good look at this scene and compare it to the video shot from the front. Oh, the playing cards don't appear in the video shot from the front. Hey, you're right. What's going on here? Told you, something was edited out. Miss Wright, what can you tell us about these playing cards? Oh, those. They're the cards I throw when I do the sword switching trick. What? Mr. Justice, does this mean the sword switching trick was edited out? Most definitely. Yes, it means that the sword switching trick was cut from the TV's show footage. So the footage was edited. Exactly. What I've been saying for quite a while now. Yes, with malicious intent. That is absurd. Well, we must get to the bottom of this right away. Bailiff, the TV station might still have the unedited footage. Go see what you can find out. Yes, Your Honor. Let me guess, big producer is saying hold it, don't look at the footage, or it'll make me a suspect. It's you. Now hold up, Your Honor. This is all just a big misunderstanding, believe you me. Give a guy a chance to defend himself before you start pointing fingers. And who might you be? Right. Sorry about that. Got ahead of myself there. Here is my business card. Charmed to make your acquaintance, Your Honor. Oh, well, how very polite of you. It's lovely to meet you too, Prosecutor Sadamahi. Please, take my card. A business card? Ah, yes, I read about this custom among businessmen in this country. I have even familiarized myself with the various replies. How do you do, good sir? Or, what's crack-a-lackin', homie, for example. Oh ho, you're from Take-Two TV, are you, witness? Come to think of it, I believe I've seen you on television before. Yes, Roger Rittens, otherwise known as Raging Raj. He is a TV producer and appears on many of his own shows as of late. He is best known for his catchphrase, hang loose, baby. Oh my, so you're the Ratings Raj. Hang loose, judgy baby. Nice courtroom you got here. I never thought I'd meet you in person. But Prosecutor Sadhamadi, how do you know so much about him? In preparation for the case, I watched all of his shows. I found the Ratings Raj Goes to Burger Barn of particular interest. It inspired me to visit that restaurant straight away to learn more about the local cuisine. What? You went to the Burger Barn? Who would have thought? You must have really wanted to try it, huh? Buddy, 'cause in that line, phew. Compared to my aesthetic training, an hour's wait is nothing. I recommend the Southwestern burger with jalapeno jack cheese, by the way. I'm having a really hard time picturing him in line for burgers. Same here. Ahem. Prosecutor Sadamahi's unexpected enthusiasm for food aside, Mr. Rittens, what is this misunderstanding you mentioned? Well, for starters, it's true that the footage was edited. You'll get your hands on this anyway, so I might as well show you the unedited footage. It's a pretty long video, so I'll just show you the part with the playing cards. You can see the cards when Trucy spins around, so keep your eyes peeled. Alright. Yeah, that wasn't in the official footage. Did you see the part that was cut where Trucy switched the swords? She spins around and the playing cards go flying. Everything's like it's supposed to be. Then it seems the defendant really did swap swords during the trick. Which means the sword Miss Wright thrust into the coffin was the rubber one. In other words, Miss Wright couldn't have killed Mr. Riaz. That's true, but also, why the heck did you edit that out? Yeah, see, that's the first misunderstanding right there. What do you mean? Well, Trucy definitely did swap swords, as you saw. So, yeah, maybe she didn't kill Mr. Riaz when she stabbed the coffin. But that just doesn't mean he was killed after he showed up pretending to be a corpse. So, you're saying that up until this point, everything was going according to the script? If that's true, then when and how exactly do you think he was killed? It was after the dragon set piece came crashing down. I say Trucy murdered Mr. Riaz when she was hidden from view behind the set piece. I don't believe that for a second. She could have easily done it behind the huge dragon and nobody be the wiser. But she ran. I see, indeed. There is a ring of truth to your assertion. You bet. Plus, there's a suspicious looking shadow in the footage too. It's toward the end of the footage, just before the dragon hits the stage. It'd be easier to just see it for yourselves. It's only a split second, so it's hard to catch, but look here. This suspicious shadow must be Trucy. She's using the steel sword she hid behind the curtain during the trick to kill the victim. Now that you mention it, I suppose it does look that way. This witness is just trying to ram his theory down our throats, Your Honor. And that's not all. Aren't we forgetting that the witness willfully edited the sword switch out of the footage? You see, that's your second misunderstanding right there. Your Honor, would you mind if I testified about it? I've seen people testify on TV, and I've always wanted to give it a shot. That would be fine with me, Prosecutor Sadamahi. This is quite unexpected. It threatens to disrupt the karmic course of this case. Hey, lighten up, pretty boy. You're gonna like what I've gotta say, promise. Very well. However, if you do anything to impede the last rites for the victim, I will have you removed. Alright, with Prosecutor Sadamahi's permission. Please give us your testimony, Mr. Riaz. Or Retens. The ratings Raj now, Kaiser of the courtroom. Haha, I'm taking over the floor, so listen up, lawyer viewers. Yeah, we're not loyal at all. We're not even viewers of yours. Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Scenes are spliced together and long or boring scenes are cut out. All the stations edited footage this way. It wasn't like it was done maliciously or something. It was just a coincidence that that particular scene was cut. It wasn't intentional. Or what? You got some proof that I had an ulterior motive for editing that footage? I don't have proof right now, but I'll find some. I see, so you're saying it was a coincidence that the sword swapping scene was cut out. That's right. Glad you got the picture.
Objection!
Coincidence? That's just a little too convenient if you ask me. Ooh, an objection. How cool. It sure packs a lot more punch when you hear it live. Do that again. I want to get another shot from a different angle. My objection is not for your entertainment. And cut. There, I got some good stuff there. Mr. Rittens, filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. Oops, my bad, Judge. And if the defense has an issue, it can point it out during its cross-examination. It wasn't deliberate, I tell you. Footage is meant to be edited, I tell you. Scenes are spliced together, and long or boring scenes are cut out. All the stations edit footage this way. It wasn't like it was done maliciously or something. Right. It was just a coincidence that particular scene was cut out. It wasn't intentional.
Hold it!
Of all the scenes you could have cut, why the sword switching trick? That seems like too much of a coincidence to me. Oh, so now you're gonna tell me how I'm supposed to edit my programs, Big Shot. It's hard being the boss, kid. You gotta make the tough choices, like which content gets cut. Then let me ask you this. Why exactly did you make such a tough choice in this case? You wouldn't understand, champ. It's all about artistic vision. Jeez, you're a snob. I tell you, people tell you how to do your job when they don't know the first thing about it. I may not know TV, but I know evidence law, and boy, do I have some for you, champ. I might not be able to show that your selective editing was intentional. However, I know you bear the defendant ill will, and this is the evidence that proves it. Oh. Um. Uh. Do we present the clipboard or the um the contract? Probably the clipboard, I would say.
Take that!
Huh? What's this you got there? This is the contract that you had Miss Wright sign just before the magic show. This contract between the first party Take-Two TV and the second party Miss Wright reads. Okay, I guess I could present either one then. If through the fault of the second party, the show must be cancelled in part or in full, the second party will pay $3 million as compensation to the first party. $3 million? That's a completely unreasonable sum. I couldn't agree more, and of course, Miss Wright doesn't have that kind of money. Nevertheless, Miss Roger Rettens had her sign this unreasonable contract anyway. Or more accurately, he conned her into signing it. Conned her? How did he do that? There's a trick to the clipboard that was used by Miss Wright to sign her contract. It houses a carbon paper that can secretly copy her signature onto other documents. Aw, come on, man. That's quite a nasty accusation you're slinging my way. For starters, you don't have any proof of I had anything to do with that carbon paper stuff. Just because Trucy and her agency can't pay up, that doesn't mean I conned her. But $3 million? That's totally out of reach for the average person. In any case, this is important new information. Please add it to your testimony, Mr. Rittens. Where's your proof linking me to that tricked out clipboard? You don't have any, do you? I think I might have. Well, I know that was also signed. So that might be it. Where's the proof linking me to that tricked out clipboard? You don't have any, do you? I don't know. I guess it would just be the note.
Objection!
Okay, yeah, I don't know why I looked at everything else. I guess that was quite obvious. You must be quite the con man if you can fool a magician with a simple trick. But if you think you can con a lawyer, you're very much mistaken. Hey kid, would it kill you to enunciate in front of the camera? You know, like a newscaster? I'd like to take a look at Miss Wright's signature here on this note. Now let's compare that signature to the one on this contract. Well, would you look at that? They're exactly the same. That's right, Your Honor. Not just similar, but exactly the same. Nobody can sign their name in exactly the same way twice, unless it's a copy. These signatures are proof positive that you conned Miss Wright. And they definitely prove your malicious intent. Say, not bad, lawyer guy. Didn't know you had it in you. This is this is really getting interesting now. It'll get great ratings for sure. Dude, you're not allowed to film. Don't try to dodge the issue, Mr. Rettens. The fact is that you still bear ill will against my client. So the show footage was definitely edited with malicious intentions, isn't that right? What a forced argument, defense. All you have really proven is not his ill will towards Miss Wright, but his wait, what the heck is that word? Pecuniary creed. Pecuniary creed? I don't know. That's right, I just wanted money, baby. Fat stacks of cheddar, that's all. After all, I'd never even crossed paths with Trucy before this magic show. So I have absolutely no reason to bear her any ill will, right? He didn't bear her any ill will, huh? Fat chance. This guy's definitely has some major hate for Trucy. You'll see. I'll dig up dirt and expose the dark heart behind that sweet smile. I'll prove those grammary magicians are all a bunch of lowlives. I can't prove it with anything, but the things he said all point to that fact. There must be something between the two of them that gave birth to this grudge. Some sort of connection that not even Trucy is aware of. Your Honor, I'd like to argue that Roger Rettens and Trucy Wright must have crossed paths before. There must be some hidden connection between them. Hidden? Connection? What is it now? Just what are you getting at, Mr. Justice? It is futile to even ask, Your Honor. Surely it is just another one of the defense's feckless claims. You don't seem to have a very high opinion of me, but once you hear my argument, you'll wish you've taken me a whole lot more seriously. Will I really? Very well then, do proceed. Did you figure something out, Apollo? Nope, not a thing. What? That was just some good old-fashioned bluffing, courtesy of Mr. Wright's fine training. I hope you know what you're doing. If you're going to make such a bold claim, Mr. Justice, I hope you're ready to elaborate. What is this hidden connection between the defendant and Roger Rettens? He's Trucy's biggest fan, they're dating. Rettens is a magician too. That sleight of hand trick Mr. Rettens did during the recess earlier. Filming is prohibited inside the courthouse. Do you want me to get the bailiff? Huh? Filming? What are you talking about? I don't even have a camera on me. What if Mr. Rettens is a magician too? What if? I believe it's up to the defense to fill in the blanks, not me. Well, if he is, he may have had some contact with Miss Wright somewhere along the way. Your argument is hardly worth responding to. You know, could Mr. Rettens be Mr. Riaz? I don't know, that feels like that might be the case. Then again, then who was killed in the first place? Interesting. But by all means, please do continue. As a passage in the sacred scriptures of Curanism states, he who gives a sermon to a monkey is himself a monkey. Yeah, it doesn't matter what you say to Dimwit. It isn't gonna get it anyway. He isn't gonna get it anyway. But we saw Mr. Rettens perform a magic trick. He made his video camera disappear in the blink of an eye. While I think it would be pretty funny if I were a magician, you must have been seeing things. Want me to introduce you to a good eye doctor? If a connection is tenuous, that is all it takes, then every magician in the country could potentially bear ill will towards the accused. I guess you're right. You're not the sharpest knife in the drawer, are you, short stuff? You would do well to cleanse that putrid mind of yours in holy waters of Mount Pawnee. 3 days under the frigid waterfall, and even you should rise the level of a monkey. Ha ha ha, a numbskull for a numbskull. Well, this numbskull has thick skin, so there. I think I get what they're driving at. Even if he was a magician, it's not exactly a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy, is it? Hold on. I can think of one person. One magician who has a reason to bear a grudge against Trucy. Or rather, one magician who has the reason to bear a grudge against the Troop Gramarye. Oh? Am I correct? Is he Riaz? No way! My guess is my assumption was correct with that response. Is something wrong, Mr. Justice? Or not response, reaction. Your Honor, the defense wishes to submit evidence at this time. I see, and what sort of evidence do you have for us? Evidence that points to the real killer, the one who had the motive to commit this crime. What? And what have you come up with this time, defense? Trucy Wright is the sole heir of the Troop Gramarye and its name. This puts her square in the crosshairs of one particular magician. And this piece of evidence points to that one person with a grudge against Miss Wright.
Take that!
And who exactly are you naming, Mr. Justice? 13 years ago, the great Mr. Riaz belonged to Troop Gramarye, but then the troop ousted him, and Mr. Riaz vowed to get revenge on them someday. And what better way to accomplish that than through the ruination of their sole heir? But Mr. Riaz is the victim, Mr. Justice. You've named the dead man as your suspect. But is he really dead? What do you mean, is he really dead? If the fact that Mr. Riaz is the victim is what's throwing you off, then how about we consider the possibility? Wait, Mr. Rettens got Mr. Riaz to work with Trucy in the first place. That means if Mr. Rettens is Mr. Riaz, then he could have just gotten some poor sap from his filming company to be Mr. Riaz in this situation. What if the man who died on that stage yesterday wasn't Mr. Riaz? What? You mean the victim was an imposter? Doesn't seem to have anything to say. Not Mr. Riaz, then what about the real Mr. Riaz? It would seem the real Mr. Riaz is still alive. That's absurd. Mr. Justice, who is the real Mr. Riaz is not the victim of this case. I think it's pretty obvious. It's all coming together now. I finally see the gimmick, the trick to his entire case. This would explain everything, Your Honor. The real killer, the one who hated Troop Gramarye and wanted to sully its name. The magician lurking in the shadows who set up a fake Mr. Riaz in his stead. The real Mr. Riaz is...
Take that!
But that's... Yes it is. Told you it was obvious. Roger Rettens is the real Mr. Riaz. What? Him?
Objection!
Oh, hollow red pepper. Your impotent seeds sprout naught but meaningless empty words. You can't possibly have proof to support such an outlandish theory. It's not a bad idea for a soap opera, but not even die-hard fans of the genre would stick around past the pilot. You want proof? Well, I've got proof. I can prove it by proving that the Mr. Riaz in yesterday's magic show was a fake. And to do that, I just need you to look at this spot in this poster. The scar.
Take that!
This is the injury Mr. Riaz sustained while practicing a magic trick 13 years ago. However, no scar. The video the victim shot of himself shows no trace of that injury. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Now, Mr. Rettens, what do you suppose we'd find if we took a look at your right forearm? Is that by chance a nasty 13-year-old scar under that sleeve of yours? Come on, show us. Well, Mr. Rettens, why don't you roll up your sleeve and let the court have a look? Or are you hiding something else up there? Ha 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 ha. Come on now, I have nothing up my sleeve. I don't need to hide anything up there because I require no tricks or gimmicks. For you see, my magic is the real deal. Uh-huh. Is this what you were hoping to see? Exactly. Oh, there it is, the scar. Just as I thought. That's right. I am the forgotten magician, abandoned to the dark understage of history. The great Mr. Riaz. This is totally absurd. And I was sad that he kind of died so quickly. Ho ho ho, how ironic, wouldn't you say? That this odious mark carved into me by Troop Grammary would bring me back into the limelight once more. Strange are the garmic threads before me. If the witness is the real Mr. Rias, then who is the victim who perished in the magic show? He was but a fan. I met him on one of my programs several years ago. He said he had become a magician out of admiration for the great Mr. Riaz. In confidence, I told him my true identity and let him take on my mantle. And when did this man take over for you? About 2 years ago. I taught him my tricks and even acted as his producer. And so, a mere amateur became a popular magician overnight. Courteous of my magic on the stage we call television. Hope you enjoyed the show. You really had us all fooled. Mr. Rettens, or should I say Mr. Riaz, in your hatred of Troop Grammary, you killed the victim, Mr. Mystery, and then set up Miss Wright to take the fall, didn't you? You did it all just to tarnish the Grammary name. Ho ho ho, I have no idea what you're talking about, lad. I set up the prank, that much is true, but it was simply a harmless joke on Trucy, I assure you. You're seriously still hiding? Yet, she learned the plan and made use of it to commit murder. That is how strongly the criminal element runs in the blood of these Grammaries. But if it was a secret prank plan that very few people knew about, couldn't you have been the one to use it for murder instead? Gah! Yikes! Eek! His head! Heh, just kidding. What the heck was that? Heed my words, lawyer lad, for I fear your grasp on reality is slipping. I do believe I told you that my magic is real. It employs neither tricks nor gimmicks. Enough with the ambiguity. Why don't you make your point already? My alibi is as pristine as ever. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Sadamahi? Yes, I suppose that is correct. The witness does have a solid alibi. What? Recall defense that at the time of the magic show, Mr. Rettens was at Take-Two TV, a fact that many people can easily attest to. Gah, that's right, I forgot all about that. Ho ho ho. So, what do you think, Your Honor? Would you like me to testify on the matter? Uh, yeah. Yes, I think you'd better. Please tell the court more about your alibi. Very well then. On with the show. Are you watching, Magnifique Grammary? The time has finally come for my magic to snuff out your precious protege. The Grammary line will be no more. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I could spare no time for the magic show. Do ask my staff if you doubt my claim. And there it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. Do you understand now, perhaps? I did not grace the theater with my presence until after the incident. So how could I have committed the murder? Hmm. His staff did say he was there at the station. So it sure does sound like a rock solid alibi. But that can't be right. If Mr. Rettens is the killer, he had to have been at the theater. There's got to be a hole somewhere in his story. Hehehe. I assure you, there are no holes on Mr. Ries's stage. No tricks, no gimmicks. True magic doesn't need trapdoors to escape through. Do enjoy my show to the fullest. And my real alibi. I was at the TV station at the time of the Penrose performance. I was busy working on another TV program. I could spare no time for the magic show. Do ask my staff if you doubt my claim. And there it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth. Okay. I don't think I have any evidence against any of this, so time to press everything he's got.
Hold it.
But you did come to the theater eventually, isn't that right? Indeed, anxious to see how the show was progressing, I made my way to the theater. Let's see, my journey took about 10 minutes by car. Could he actually have been the... Wait, could he actually have been at... Excuse me? Okay, one more time. Could he actually have been at the theater during those 10 minutes killing the victim? Ho ho ho, allow me to stab at reading your mind. Aha! Could I have been at the theater during those 10 minutes killing the victim? How in the... Apollo, that was easy to predict. But no, I took a taxi. The driver can attest to that. Feel free to call the taxi company if my word does not satisfy you. The driver is a big fan of the ratings Raj. I even gave him my card. You know what? If he could get a fill-in for his magic act, couldn't he have gotten a fill-in for the TV filming too? He gave the driver his card. That was very clever of him. You might as well give it up, lad. Questioning real magic is a fool's errand. Besides, you know very well what I was doing at the time of the incident. I was busy working on another TV program.
Hold it.
What was the other TV show you were working on? My own special project, you see. One moment. Perhaps this is more appropriate. It's a Raiden Raj special production. Yeah, hang loose, baby. It's called Desperation Regeneration. He switched personas just to say that. What's the show about? Washed up has-been singers and comedians get together and play musical chairs. The winner of the game is given a second chance at their career. Priceless prize for chumps who washed up too early in life. Sounds great, right? Might I suggest you appear on that show, Mr. Justice? As the ex-lawyer who used to make ridiculous bluffs in court and faded sadly into obscurity. And let the ratings Raj produce my TV debut? Not this time. Not this lifetime. You have great reactions. Who knows? TV might be your true calling. Hey, whose side are you on? In any case, I have overseen production of this program during the Penrose performance. Do ask my staff if you doubt my claim. How do we know those staff members aren't in cahoots with you? Fair point. I make it my business to perform solo. My magic has neither need or want of assistance. After all, one of them could reveal the secrets behind my magic, could they not? So he doesn't trust anyone, huh? He's the total opposite of Trucy. There were many people there in the studio audience who saw the witness as well. Even if he had been able to persuade his own staff to cover for him, he could not have convinced so many complete strangers to do the same. He really has made a rock-solid alibi for himself. Yeah, it's almost too good, you know? It's eerie how perfect it is. Has all been revealed to you now? And there it is, a simple and perfect alibi. No tricks, no gimmicks, just the truth.
Hold it.
I've got it. Do you have a brother? A brother that looks exactly like you, maybe. Again with the twins business. You think the audience will let you get away with using that same gimmick twice in a row? It's not a gimmick, there was actual twins. If you do not believe him, Defense, why not investigate for yourself? Though, I am sure your efforts will prove to be thoroughly fruitless. Yeah, I guess the twins theory is a little far-fetched. I don't think it's far-fetched, but I don't think he has a twin. His alibi really is airtight. I believe we've heard enough. While I believe the witness does indeed harbor some ill will against the defendant, there is no reason to doubt that he was at the TV station at the time of the incident. Yes, the facts prove it was impossible for the witness to have been involved with this crime. Nah. These last rites for the victim have dragged on long enough. The soul of the victim himself is so bored that it is resting on top of your Honor's head. It is? The time has come. Let us punish the sinner and guide the victim's soul to the Twilight Realm. Apollo, Trucy will be thrown into prison and will be out of a job. But if you can catch tasty fishies, will you sell me some at a good price? I told you, I have absolutely zero intention of going off on a tuna boat. Think, Justice. You have to figure this out. It's no use. I can't find a single flaw. So what now? Ho ho ho, behold my never-ending magic show. Come for the awe-inspiring showmanship of the great Mr. Reyes, and stay for my grand illusion until the end of time. Ha 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 ha. Wait, is he saying That we're still trapped inside some sort of illusion of his? That's what professional magicians do. They make their audience see something that isn't really there. In other words, you make us see illusions, right? We call it misdirection. While we keep you busy believing one thing, we're busy making something else happen. What we say is there really isn't, and what we say there actually isn't actually is. Feels like a tongue twister. I know it isn't, but it feels like one. Could it be? You know what, Mr. Rettens? I guess we have been spectators to the elaborate illusion you've prepared for us. An illusion that was uh, subtle, sub, oh my god, subtly, su- subtly, oh my god, subtly, I know that word, I just can't say it right now. God damn it. Let me just get the pronunciation.
Subtly.
Subtly. Wait, subtly? That doesn't that doesn't sound right.
Subtly.
There's a silent B? Huh. So it's subtly. Subtly. I thought it was oh, whatever. You learn something new every day. Turn our attention towards something you wanted us to see. What are you going on about, lad? Have you got something, Apollo? I just remembered something Trucy said about misdirection. What a magician says is there really isn't, and what they say isn't there actually is. If we've all been taken for a ride by Mr. Retton's magic, then maybe he's made us see something that wasn't really there. But what? It's time to rethink all of my assumptions about this case. What have we been made to believe was there when it actually wasn't? What have we taken to be the absolute facts of this case? If I reevaluate the validity of all these things, then just maybe Athena. There's something uncanny about this case. Okay, what is it? Retinus's alibi is too perfect. That's true, but it's like it's impossible to break, no matter how hard we try. But maybe that's the trick. Maybe that's exactly what he wants us to think. I'm not following. We're not making any headway here because we've been so focused on breaking his alibi. Oh, I think I get it. You're saying he's using misdirection on us, right? It's definitely a possibility. Ahem. Would the defense care to share with everyone what it's discussing over there? Your Honor, we believe that if we were to reconsider a certain assumption, we may finally arrive at the truth. In fact, I think we'll even finally see who's hiding behind the curtain, so to speak. And what is this a certain assumption you're thinking of? This is the one key assumption we've been lacking for the guaranteed, wait. This is one key assumption we've been taking for granted this whole time. Roger Retinus' guilt. The culprit was on the scene, the crime scene. The culprit was on the scene. Wait, you're telling me he truly wasn't on the scene? What if the culprit was somewhere other than the theater at the time of the crime? What if there was some way to commit the murder without actually being there? If that were the case, then Mr. Retton's perfect alibi would become irrelevant. Oh my god. Why am I struggling so much with talking today? Irrelevant. There we go.
Objection.
How could one person stab another to death with a sword without physically being there? Furthermore, we all saw what appears to be the culprit's shadow in the footage.
Objection.
But couldn't we as easily assume that the shadow does not belong to the culprit? What if it's not the culprit's shadow, then whose is it? Sorry. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm on the right track. We've all seen something that looks like this shadowy shape before, Your Honor. During the magic show itself. Oh, Mr. Hat, yeah. In that case, please point out in the show footage for us. This is the thing that looks suspiciously similar to the shadowy figure of the culprit. Alright. Alright.
Take that.
Doesn't this shadow resemble the suspicious shadowy figure? Now that you mentioned it, it does, doesn't it? Miss Wright, could you identify this shadow for us in court? For the court? Let's see, I believe that's Mr. Hat's shadow. It's from when he was being pulled up from the stage to the catwalk overhead by wire. Then could the shadowy figure that's shown later in the footage be Mr. Hat too? No, that's not possible. After Mr. Hat was pulled up to the catwalk, he stayed up there. In other words, the second shadow is from some other figure being pulled up. From some other figure? I'm afraid you'll need to be more specific than that, Mr. Justice. He's right. We've come this far. We'll just have to figure it out from the clues I have on hand. What is the second shadow shown in the footage? Second shadow shown in the footage, and it wasn't Mr. Hat. Could it be the body itself?
Take that.
If we consider what was happening on the stage at the time, there is only one answer. The shadow belonged to the fake Mr. Riaz. In other words, Mr. Manove Mystery. The victim? Please take a look at the prank plan script. Mr. Mystery was to pretend to be dead and then fly into the air after that. Isn't that right, Mr. Rettons? Indeed. And what of it? I contend that that's exactly what happened. The victim was wearing the stunt harness around his waist. It was most likely attached to the stunt wire so that he could be pulled up into the air. So you're suggesting that after pretending to be dead in the coffin, the victim flew up into the air, just as the prank script says. Exactly. We just couldn't see him go flying up because the dragon was blocking our view. And that last trick, ladies and gentlemen, is the true piece de resistance of the culprit's murderous magic show. Huh. Don't tell me you've got it all figured out. Yes, I think so. If we can just look beyond Mr. Retton's last bit of misdirection, we should be able to see the real truth. The victim must have pulled up to the catwalk, just like Mr. Hat, and hit the cushion up there with the considerable force. I just have to figure out what else happened up there at the time. Could the sword be pushed through the cushion and then he just went zoop right up and then stab? Are you ready to elaborate, Mr. Justice? Yes, Your Honor, I'm ready. In that case, please answer me this. Why did the culprit make the victim fly up into the air like that? To murder him. Just why did the culprit have the victim fly up after he appeared in the coffin? And how did the victim actually die? When he was only pretending to be dead in the coffin. If we can figure out how these two questions relate, the answers should become clear. Could it be? Mr. Mystery must have thought he was still just part of the prank when he appeared on stage. He probably didn't suspect a thing as he was being pulled into the air. After that, Miss Wright was called backstage, and just as the set piece fell. But the culprit had already planted the real murder weapon in the cushion in the catwalk. It was probably a knife or blade of some sort. What? You mean... Yes, I recall... Yes, it really was magical murder. Just as the prank script said, Mr. Mystery was whisked up into the air and straight into a blade there in the catwalk. In other words, this murder was committed remotely through the use of a magic trick. What? Remotely? Using this method, it wouldn't matter where Mr. Retton's was at the time of death. Yeah. But how exactly does it work, Mr. Justice? Just before the murder occurred, the dragon set piece was up in the catwalk, and it and Mr. Malnov Mystery were connected to each other by a wire at the time. By carrying out the prank plan, Betty made the dragon set piece fall, which caused Mr. Mystery to skyrocket straight up and into the blade in the cushion. The cushion was high up enough to be hidden from the audience's view. That's why nobody saw the blade. Oh, then that big gash in Mr. Hat's cape. The blade must have been set up overhead sometime before the magic show. And Mr. Hat must have been slashed by it too, when he was pulled up to the cushion. I can't believe it. I had no idea. I was told that Trucy would freak out if I made the set piece fall. That's the only reason I did it. You were used, Betty. Roger Retton's used you. I thought he was my little puppet to boss around, but it was the other way around. After the incident occurred, Mr. Rettens arrived at the theater. He got the murder weapon and swapped the rubber sword for the bloodied steel one. That's also when he lowered the victim's body down to the stage. But how did he have time to do all that? When the set piece fell, the audience was evacuated from the building. He was able to do all those things after the fact because there was no one around to see. A horrific murder camouflaged by a spectacular magic show. That sounds like the kind of murder only a magician could pull off. As long as the show proceeded as it was scripted, Mr. Mystery was doomed to die. That's why it was you, Mr. Rettens, who killed the victim, all the way from the TV station. This prank plan, or should I say murder plan, proves your murderous intent. Grammary! Enough. You dim-witted, ignorant imbecile. Putrid red pepper. He can't possibly have a counter-argument to make. Talk about not knowing when to let it go and move on. Do you have a rebuttal or something, Prosecutor Sandamai? No blade of any kind was found in the catwalk, which means you have no evidence to support your theory. But Mr. Rettens retrieved it after the fact. Which still leaves you with no way to prove your wildly fantastic remote murder theory. But without proof, doesn't it make more sense to believe that the murder was committed there on the stage? That's where the blood-stained sword was found, after all. That is a very good point. As the only person who could have committed the crime there on the stage, Trucy Wright remains the prime suspect. Nah. It would appear that what you call truth is little more than a cheap parlor trick. In the end, you have done nothing to prove the accused's innocence. It is time to let go and move on. Nick? Ho 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 ho. Are you seeing this, Magnifique Grammary? My magic is exacting punishment on your own granddaughter. The Grammary name is done for. Apollo, we need to hit them with a decisive piece of evidence here. I know, that's just what I was thinking. Mr. Justice, do you or don't you have anything to prove that the witness committed this remote murder you proposed? Of course I do, Your Honor. This entire incident was carried out exactly according to the script. Right, so theoretically, there should be no evidence for us to find or use. Which means our best bet is to see if something unscripted happened. There's gotta be something Rettens couldn't have foreseen. And once I find it, that's how I'll expose his murderous trick. Get ready, Mr. Rettens, because I'm about to reveal the secret to your magic. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, just some good old-fashioned logic. Meh. As long as the magic show went as scripted, the murder would happen without fail. Everything in this case was carefully planned so that no evidence would be left behind. Still, one thing happened that definitely wasn't in the plan. What part of the magic show wasn't a part of the show's original script? Bonnie's mistake. Bonnie made a mistake during Trucy's escape trick. What mistake did Bonnie make during the magic trick? Mr. Hat's positioning. Mr. Hat was placed in the wrong spot. Because Bonnie placed Mr. Hat to the right of the coffin instead of to the left. Trucy had to reappear on the side of the coffin, opposite to the one in the show script. But the culprit didn't know that when he first arrived at the theater, which means he was bound to make a slip-up when he tampered with the crime scene. Which part of the culprit's cover-up attempt was affected by Trucy's new position? The fingerprints on the coffin. No, that's not right. Dang it! I thought I was onto something. Okay. I guess that, yeah, no, that wouldn't change anything. The edited show footage? Maybe? Would that make sense, though? No. I think the blood on the coffin hole. The blood was on the wrong side of the coffin, too. Thinking Trucy had appeared on the left, the culprit must have put the blood on the left hole. But the blood was eventually discovered in the right hole during the police investigation. So the killer had originally put the blood on the left side. That means he must have tampered with the scene again afterwards to make it line up with the facts. To make the crime scene consistent with the facts, the culprit must have swapped the coffin sides. Which explains the fingerprints. The culprit swapped the coffin sides. That's right, the left and right panels of the coffin are interchangeable. The culprit must have switched the two panels to make the blood stain fit the facts. And the switch might have also given rise to some unnatural... Oh, I remember now. There was something unnatural about the coffin, and it's just the evidence I need. Sorry, Mr. Rettens, but I have some very conclusive proof of your guilt. Another bluff, is it? There's no way you have anything of the kind. My magic is real. No, there are tricks and gimmicks to it. Just like any other illusion. What? After the murder, you switched the left and right panels of the coffin, didn't you? Gah! And because you did, you left behind something very unnatural for us to find. This proves that that Roger Rettens tampered with the crime scene after the murder took place. I guess it would just be... Okay, it would be that one. The fingerprints results? What about the fingerprints is unnatural? Let's take a look at the prints the victim left inside the coffin, shall we? If the victim was facing forward in the coffin, his prints should have looked like this. However, what we found was they were facing the opposite direction. It's quite unnatural for the prints to be facing this way, wouldn't you agree? Ah! It is strange, isn't it? But how did you get this? How did they get this way? They got this way because the culprit thought the magic show had gone according to script. The culprit thought Mr. Hat would be on the left side of the coffin. And that Miss Wright would also pop up to the left side of the coffin, as per the show's script. He then assumed she was thrust the sword into the hole on the left side of the coffin. That's why he put blood in the left hole when he was trying to cover up his crime. But sometime after leaving the bloodstain, the culprit must have realized his mistake. He found out that due to Bonnie's mistake, Mr. Hat was to the right of the coffin. And that, despite the script, Miss Wright had thrust the sword into the hole on the right. In short, the hole with the blood in it was on the side opposite the one that Trucy used. To make the blood's location fit the facts, he had to tamper with the evidence yet again. So he tried to cover his tracks by switching the coffin left and right panels. Oh, and that's how the fingerprints in the coffin ended up backwards? Because the culprit switched the two sides of the panels around. The prints ended up facing the opposite direction. But instead of going to all that trouble with the panels, why didn't the culprit just wipe the blood away and redo it on the other side? I'm afraid that wouldn't have worked, Your Honor, because the little something called luminal testing. Ah, right, luminal. I almost forgot about that, and I almost forgot how to say that. Luminal can detect trace amounts of blood, even if it's been wiped away, right? That's right, wiping the blood away would have only served as proof of his meddling. How about it, Mr. Rettens? I did a pretty good job figuring out your trick, didn't I? Nah.
Objection.
Trucy Wright would have done the same just as easy. You have no proof that it was this witness who tampered with the evidence. But I do have proof. What? The person who was in the magic show would have never have made the mistake of putting the blood on the wrong side. Least of all Miss Wright, who surely would have remembered she was on the other side. Oh my, you're absolutely right. Nah. Why, you impudent... I'm sure you've realized by now, Prosecutor Sadamahi, that your claim that Miss Wright is the culprit just doesn't hold up.
Objection.
Really? Miss Wright and I? Because I think you're the one with a ticket there for trying to convict an innocent girl. Nah. Ah. Okay. Prosecutor Sadamahi, Sadamahi, are you alright? As for the true culprit, he is someone who knew how the show was supposed to go, but didn't actually see it. And someone who had the chance to tamper with the crime scene after the incident. And the only person who fits the bill is you, Roger Rettens. Grammary. All of the secrets to your tricks have been revealed. And with no tricks left, I'm afraid your show has been cancelled. Permanently. Lost my place. Grunk. All of my secrets have been revealed, you say. Humph. Don't make me laugh, boy. Mine is the true, real magic. There is no secrets. Behold, ladies and gentlemen, the true power of Mr. Riaz. Witness the magic far greater than troop Gramarye's. Burn. Crumble. Fall into furious flames. The great Mr. Riaz will bring an end to you all. And now, for the final heir to the Gramarye name, right here, right in front of you now, shall Huh? No, this isn't right. Ah! No, I didn't do anything wrong. No, it's not my fault. It's not. I'm not the victim here. Ah! What? Ah! Ah! Stop! No! Ah! Curse you, Gramarye! And that's the end of that. Curse you, Gramarys. Or curse those Gramarys. Jeez, I'm really not on the ball today. It's all because of them. Even now, they wound me. Curse them all to the abyss. Do you really hate us that much? Does your hatred run that deep? Deep enough to kill an innocent man? You're damn right. I have no idea what humiliations I had to suffer. Your grandfather, Magnifi Gramarye, kicked me out after I got hurt practicing my magic. He said I was too unskilled, that I would mess up on stage. He threw me out of the troupe just because he was worried about his own reputation. Since I was but a child, it was always my dream to become a great magician. But that Magnifi, he took it all away from me. But that's no excuse. That's no reason to do something so evil. Magic is supposed to make people happy, not used as a means for murder. What's the big deal? I just used what I had available to me, that's all. I get it now. That attitude towards magic is why my grandfather kicked you out. You don't deserve to call yourself a magician. Don't deserve? I don't know about that. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, you would be on your way to prison as we speak. You're right. I didn't see through your tricks. You see? So in the end, Troop Gramarye was defeated by the great Mr. Riaz. Ho ho ho. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy, right? You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Poof. Gahahaha. Gahahaha. Take that, Gramarye, you lose. If anyone needs to learn to let it go and move on, it's this guy. Gahahaha. This court is my prison can both... Wait. This court and my prison can both burn in the flames of my creation. Gahaha. Ahahaha. Bailiff, take Mr. Rettens away. And bring a fire extinguisher, just to be safe. It looks like we've reached the end. I feel as though I've been watching a grand magic show. It was close, but we just barely made it through somehow. Huh? Why does Trucy look so down? Miss Wright. Yes, Your Honor? I'm about to announce my verdict. Could I see that wonderful smile of yours? That smile that a true entertainer as I do? Yes, Your Honor. Now then, this court finds the defendant, Trucy Wright, not guilty. Another case in the bag. Court is adjourned. Thank you for everything, Polly. Oh, Trucy. Grazadio? I don't know what that means. Now you can open your show tomorrow, just as planned. Yep, and it's all thanks to you two. Oh, but now that Mr. Riaz is gone, I'll need to find somebody to replace him. I don't like the way she's looking at me. Trucy, I'm so sorry about everything. Hey, what are you apologizing for? Roger Rettons used us. We're victims too. He even made me an accomplice to murder. But Betty, we have to take some of the blame for this too, you know? Even if we didn't know he was planning to kill Mr. Mystery, we did cooperate with him. It's all my fault, isn't it? Neither one of you is to blame. The only one in the wrong is the person who used magic to commit murder, Roger Rettons. Don't you think I know that? Say what you want, but don't think for a second that I don't still hate you. I guess she really does hate me. But Betty, why? You used to be a huge fan of Trucy's. Hey, shut up! I've always hated her. Really? But if we hadn't seen Trucy's magic show, we never would have tried to become professional magicians ourselves otherwise. So, speak for yourself. But, Betty... God, just shut up! She was acting that way this whole time because she secretly loves Trucy? Wow, Trucy, I never knew that being the best could be so tough. Come on, Bonnie, we're leaving. We have to get ready for tomorrow's show. Hehe, you're really excited about performing with Trucy again, aren't you? That's not true, so zip it, dummy. Polly, do you think I really am a naive greenhorn? Huh? No way, she's not. After all, you were completely taken in by my magic, were you not? If not for that lawyer over there, we would be on your way to prison as we speak. You're right. I didn't see through your tricks. You see? So in the end, Troop Gramarye was defeated by the great Mr. Riaz. Ho ho ho. You're not fit to lecture me from on high, Trucy Wright. You don't even deserve to call yourself a magician, you naive greenhorn. Trucy, don't tell me you're taking what Mr. Retton said to heart. Well, maybe a little. I didn't see through his tricks, and I let myself be taken in by his magic. I can't trust myself anymore. Maybe he was right to call me a greenhorn. You shouldn't take stock of his words. He doesn't even know the first thing about you. Huh? You're a wonderful Gramarye magician. You should be proud of yourself. Thank you, Apollo. But what makes you say that? I know you're a wonderful Gramarye magician because of this. The notebook. My grandfather's notebook. The Gramarye Creed. A true entertainer always keeps a smile on their face. When you performed your magic trick in court today, you showed the world your dedication to your troop's creed. Even through all the jeering, you kept a smile on your face and won the crowd over. You are everything Magnifi could have hoped for in their heir. You're a great magician, Trucy. A great magician? Me? You really are. That's why you don't have to worry about what Mr. Retton said. Oh, Polly, thank you. Still, I couldn't have done it without you. I would have lost my nerve if I'd be alone up here. But I was able to keep on smiling because of you. Me? I remember what you said to me in the detention center. After all, you're sure you swapped the swords, right? Yes, I remember doing it. Then I just know it wasn't your fault, Trucy. But how can you say that? We don't even have any proof it wasn't me. I mean, I know you're a great lawyer, Polly, but I believe in you, Trucy. And I believe in your skill as a professional magician. So I'm going to prove your innocence. Don't worry, you're going to be just fine. Your words were what kept me going. Apollo, thank you from the bottom of my heart. Now I can be everything I was meant to be. Trucy's real smile is the best. I'm so glad I could help make that happen. Emma? I'm really sorry, Trucy, for everything. But why? Well, I wasn't able to convince Prosecutor Sandamahi what a good person you are. And I had to testify against you, too. You have nothing to apologize for. You were just doing your job. You're too kind. Oh, I don't know about that. Huh? Is something wrong, Emma? Oh. Prosecutor Sandamahi, what are you doing here? Detective Sky. Yes? I require your forensics expertise in order to close this case. Come, let us go. Wait, Prosecutor Sadamahi. The trial is over, Mr. Justice. You and I are strangers once more, with no further need to interact. Strangers? Have you really forgotten all about me? What? You've really changed, Nayuta. Telling me to let go and stuff, what happened to you? O lawyer of impure soul, I have nothing to say to the likes of you. Are you serious, Nayuta? Now, if you will excuse me. There he goes. What was that all about, Apollo? What did you know how did you know Prosecutor Sahamahi? Let's just say we're old acquaintances. Acquaintances? You seem like something more than that. Yeah, well, you don't like to talk about your past, do you? Because you always change the subject. I guess I'll have to talk about it someday. But for now, come on, let's forget about the past and celebrate Trucy's future. Sure, if you say so. Hey, it's Mr. Wright. Let's put him on speakerphone, Apollo. What's up, Mr. Wright? Apollo, how's Trucy? What happened at the trial? Did you get a not guilty verdict? Mr. Wright, slow down. Everything's fine. Hi, Daddy. I'm okay now. She was found not guilty in a very dramatic turnabout. Plus, we saved the office. It was a great victory for Apollo. Phew, that's a load off my mind. I can't thank you enough, Apollo. Now, I know I can trust you to hold down the fort anytime. Me? Really? Yes, you. You're a real full-fledged lawyer now in my eyes. A full-fledged lawyer? I still can't wrap my mind around it. Thank goodness you were there to take care of everything, and thank you, Apollo. No need to go that far, boss. Especially not in front of everyone. Oh, and by the way, I won't be able to make it to tomorrow's show, so I'm hoping you could go. You'll do that for me, won't you? Of course. I wouldn't miss it for the world. Full-fledged? So, Daddy asked you to come to tomorrow's show, huh? As my assistant, right? No, he just asked me to go cheer you on. Okay then, I'll be sure to save you the best seat in the house, Polly. The best seat in the house? I really appreciate the thought, but... Good, then it's settled. He's gonna end up in the show, isn't he?
Objection!
I should have known. Uh-huh. That this is what she meant. Magical girl Trucy Wright will now perform her greatest illusion yet. There are no tricks or gimmicks here, ladies and gentlemen. This is real magic. Wait a minute. You're kidding, right? There is a trick or gimmick, right? I'm too young to die. Now then, Mr. Hat, you know what to do with that sword. No, wait, stop. No, ah! And that is how Trucy and Gramarye Land ended on a rousing high note. With a big round of applause and Polly's ear-splitting screams. What kind of ending is that? Well, the end. Hope you all enjoyed the stream and the ending of episode 2, The Magical Turnabout. And tomorrow will be episode 3, The Rite of Turnabout. I'll see you all there. Bye for now.